Mills from Mill City Boxing, home of the high level pro boxing media, the Fighters and Trainers channel, and most importantly, the People's channel. And we have here Michael Fox, 154 contender, um, coming back from Keith Thurman's camp. Um, Pretty much the official sparring partner for Fundora. We could base it if you didn't know, now you know. Um, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I can't call it. How you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. We had a lot of fights that just passed. Were you able to watch them?
I watched. I actually went to the Adames Ammo Williams fight while I was there. I drove up there real fast before I left. Shout out to Carlos Adames, man. And still champion. I picked him to win. But credit to Ammo, man. He showed a lot. He showed a lot of heart. Showed a lot of grit, man. So he'll be back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, your initial reaction on the fight. I mean, there was a lot more to it. I mean, right? I mean, I had Ammo winning the first round, and that's it. And then next thing you know, at round two comes, and Adames hits him with a double right hand and knocks him down. I mean, what was your reaction out the double right hand?
Um, it took Ammo off his feet and it put me on mine, man. Like we threw the double right hand, bow, bow. Everybody stood up. It was a good. You can see he was looking for the joint. You see he was looking for the joint. He kept slipping, slip past slip past Ammo's guy was trying to slip past Ammo's jab, lands the first right hand, follows up with the second one. Real nice setup. It was a real nice setup.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked the performance that Carlos Adames put on. I mean, a lot of people, even one of his boys that does Broadway Joel. He obviously covers Dominican boxing, and
Yeah.
he's a big Carlos Adames supporter, and he said that he thought it was okay because he wasn't able to stop him. I feel like he could have stepped on the gas, but in reality, because looking at prior fights of Adames, you've seen that he gasses out a little bit around the eighth and ninth round, because he's trying to get people out of there a lot of times. I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen that with the J Rock fight, you know what I mean, and you seen that was the fight that Breadman was so upset. The fact that it was a stoppage, and that it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thing about Adames is like he pours on pressure, but it's more mental. I think it's more mental than like physical. He's like after he hurts you, he steps forward. He's looking for one big shot. I think Adames, honestly, he would have got Ammo out of there had he put more punches together. But Adames is very slick, a very slick power puncher. But you look, he doesn't do a lot of putting combinations together. Had he started running off some kind of like had he slid to him, ran on some hard combinations like boom 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 boom, and kept like kind of knocking Ammo around. He might have did, but he might have got the stoppage, and he may have got the stoppage, and he may have gotten the stoppage in the past. But he throws one hard punch, and you can see people like they don't like what they getting hit with. Like he lands, and like I'm at the venue, so I actually hear the punches sounding off. I'm like shit, you know what I mean? So I think his pressure is more mental. He's moving his head, and he's loading bombs as he's moving ahead. He's stalking you. You miss him. It's more mental, and you put a little more activity behind that. It's a couple of guys he might have stopped in the past and last night.
Right, right. I mean, you know, this was a guy that, this fight had a lot of tension, right? Adames saying he would destroy him. And then you also had Emma Williams kind of talking smack, not liking what he's saying,
Yeah.
but, saying, hey, you pulled out of that fight. Looking at that, bicep yesterday, I mean, wow, that definitely looked cracked. I seen it in the weigh-ins when he was flexing, and I was like, it didn't seem like it was too much of a factor. What do you think?
Oh, I did. I never knew why he pulled. I thought he had gotten sick or something. I didn't know the reason he had pulled out of the fight. It was an injury.
Yeah, he pulled his bicep.
Well, if he just pulled it, I mean, it might have just been aggravated. Might need some rest. Like a bicep tear would have put him down for probably a few more months. You know, Adonis is 31. It's not old, but like sometimes it takes a little bit of time to bounce back. But like I said, a pull means it's aggravated, like a tear. Like if you look at like Fundora, like you look at his bicep in that little catch game they was doing for the PBC promotion, for the promotional jump, you can see his jumps like split. And my strength and conditioning coach clued that to me. He was just like, he said, "Man, yeah, would because the last time he was down there, what they say was the problem." He said he hurt his hand. He said, "Man, you see his arm right there." He said that means he tore his bicep. And it's not nothing you can really hide. That required that required some months. I mean, what would Adames was supposed to be what in January or
I believe so.
yeah, but he's right back in March. So I mean, it clearly wasn't that severe. I can understand if it's just it being pulled. I can kind of understand Ammo being like, man, you supposed to dog that out, champ. But I mean, Adames came back, showed him what was up. Like I'm good now, so now you gonna see. And then he showed he was really good when he scored that knockout in the second.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he looked really good. His head movement is probably one of the best at 60. I'm assuming. Like, I think him. I really want to see him and Yo Hernandez. I think that the one and two should definitely get along. Um,
That's coming up quick, especially like you know with I mean Hernandez supposed to be what fighting this Saturday, right?
yeah, he's supposed to be fighting Boazzi.
Boatsy.
Am I saying? I might have saying the wrong person. The wrong person's name.
Uh,
Let's see. Maybe I'm saying the wrong person's
yeah.
name. Hold.
Nah, but only Boatsy I know is a dude that's 68. I mean, no, 75.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm saying the wrong name. Hold on. Yo Hernandez.
Yeah. But anyway, I know he's at 60, and I think it should be an easy fight to make. They both kind of on that side. I know the sides is this side of street, that side of
Goucher,
street.
Goucher,
Yeah, yeah,
Goucher,
yeah, yeah. Right.
Goucher.
So now that I think that makes it a bigger fight. Hernandez and if Hernandez wants his like what first or second crack at the title, and Goucher wants another crack at this title, they both there's more on the table this week. So um, and then with Adames the only one busy. Not sure what's next for Laura, and Janabek is getting suspended for pop and dirty. I mean, it shouldn't be too many options, but it should be hard to make. It shouldn't be a hard fight to make.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. After last night, they were calling Hadamas the best guy at 160 pounds. What would you say?
Um, he's definitely he's one of the champions. I think it's between as far as it says. I mean, it's between him and I mean Laura's an old dog, but y'all still haven't dethroned him. He's probably gonna fight until they take his belt, until somebody can take his belt, and he'll probably retire then. But nobody's showing that they can't that they can beat him even at 40 plus years old. So and then I thought Janabek was one of the nicer guys, but now we don't know how good he actually is because he popped there. We don't know how much of that was him, and we don't know how much of that was the extra stuff. So and IBF stripped the WBO seems to they seem to not want to they seem to not want to strip him. So I mean he's gonna get this he's gonna serve this suspension, come back, and it looks like he might come back with a belt and a slap on the wrist. Ain't no ain't no integrity in this sport like that no more.
Yeah, I figured they would have stripped them, from both belts.
Yeah, I would think you would think so. You would think so, but that ain't.
I thought it would be like an easy call.
Yeah. It should be it should be easy, really easy call. But I mean, I don't know. Xander the top rank guy. WBO likes they like top. They like Bob and they like top rank. So it's always kind of been that way. So they might. I don't know. They could be get. He could be getting some. He could be getting some favoritism on just off of that. I mean, he's aligned. Let's say he's aligned with the right people. Let's say that.
Yeah, 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 100%. Um, so yeah, I mean, who do you want to see Adames fight next?
Oh, I want to see him fight next. My man Troy Isley. Troy Isley was down at
I seen the pull up actually.
yeah, he was down there at the fights. I knew he was down there. I couldn't really find him. But shout out to Troy Isley. He been doing the work quietly. He's like I think he's in those rankings somewhere in the top 10, top 5, something like that. So you
Yeah,
know,
he in like the top 5.
yeah, I've known Troy since we were young. So I'm rooting for I'm rooting for him to get his shot. And I mean, the division always needs uh any division always gonna need some new blood, man. And let these guys try to shake things up. Let these the newer guys come in and try to capture the dream.
Right, right. I like that.
So we'll do that. So that one or the winner of Hernandez and Gachet. That because though I know that fight is easy to make, and then I'll definitely want I want Troy to get his chance.
You want Troy to get his chance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Now, without him, being, biased,
Uh,
that fight right there, is that percentage wise, how who wins that fight without, all bias aside?
you talking about Isley versus Adame?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it would experience would favor Adames, and he's at 31. He's like I said, that's not old. He's still no, that's still a prime year. He's still doing his thing. He looked great against Shiraz. He looked pretty. He looked great here. But what I will say is I don't know. Shiraz looked a little. He just looked a little. To me, he looked a little scared. Like he started off good, but he looked a little scared. Adame is a little. I mean, not Adame. Ammo is better offensively than he is defensively. And I think Troy is good on all sides of the punch, on offense and defense. So it'd be I could put it's
But Troy, but Troy's not necessarily punching like Ammo is. Ammo look like he's at least punching.
I mean Ammo was looking like he was punching against against the right respectfully the right people. I mean
Respectfully, yeah, I get you.
yeah,
You're right.
but when you look at it, I was there at the fight with Adame. I could see how Adame's punches was landing, and I mean especially at least especially in the beginning. It looked like Ammo's punches were kind of bouncing off Adame's. Like he's connecting, but it's like they just kind of bouncing off of him. Like like if you play PlayStation, you fight the boss or whatever. You fight the boss in the game, and none of your regular moves working. Like it just don't look like
Hmm.
he was had that much effect on Adame's.
It's probably
Ammo is
because he
used to
look
it.
like he's jacked up. People probably assume that it's like that he has punching power.
Yeah, I mean he's jacked up and he's been and he's kind of been matched right, but you got to that level. You got to the highest level. You got to a very high level. So shout out to you. But it looked like yeah, young, like Diamond just whoop, 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 and that was okay. But yeah, you a youngin. That's kind of how I look. Like man, you a youngin. Whereas I think and then when you matching guys like that, Ammo gets to believing in his power a bit. I mean, he can punch. Let's say he can punch at a level, but once you get to a level where all right, that was cool, but that's not gonna work up here. Now you got to lean into those boxing skills. What I'll say is, if Troy may not be showing the punch like Ammo, but Troy is, like I said, I think he's a better fighter overall. Good boxing skills, good defensive ability capabilities. Um, so I think the in ring time he's gotten from not putting all those guys away benefits him more. It will be it's a big step up, but I mean, but Troy's up to the task. He's a 2020 Olympian. Um, and once you start asking, once you start getting ranked, there's no going back. There's no maybe a couple more fights. It's like no. Once you start calling these guys names, all right, youngin, we here now. What you want to do? And I mean, I know Troy. Troy not ducking no smoke. So you know, it'd be a big task. But I'd be pulling for Troy all the way. He would have to. I think he'd have to fight a very disciplined fight, and be and be be assertive on offense, be responsible on defense, and I mean go in there, hit him with whatever you got, hit him with that shit you got. But if
Obviously,
you put him on,
the activity has to be in factor because
yeah,
if you're gonna play the chess game with Adamas that's taller than you, that
yeah,
has great head movement. You
yeah,
know what I mean? His feet might be better than yours too. You know what I mean? I don't know. They might have equal feet. I don't know, but like when you see like the smaller guys, like remember back in we're going back to like the 54 division, like when you had Brian Castano, like a
mhm,
small 54 pounder, but
yeah,
he was able to, accomplish what he was able to accomplish due to activity. You know what I mean? I feel like Troy is a small 160 pounder like that. And I feel like he's gonna have to win off of activity because he doesn't necessarily have that knockout, you know, one punch power type deal either.
yeah, yeah. He would have to. I mean, he would have to be active. I think. I mean, that was. I think in those moments, those are the moments where Ammo had success too, where he was, letting multiple punches go. I think, like I said, I just think Ammo stayed in too long. Like you, and he punching until Adame start punching back, and I'm like, nah, you should have got that, slid out, got some more, slid out, got some more, slid
Does
out.
he got that in his game though?
You got
Does he have
who?
a outside? Yeah,
Ammo.
does he have a ammo? Does he have a back foot game?
You know what? You're probably right. There's I had to say no, but I mean, but you're showing to not be strong enough, and that's why you're showing not to be strong enough
And
to.
we can't revent the wheel now in the middle of a fight.
You're right about that. It depends. It just depends on what you. I mean, what you have. If you got some capabilities in the vault that we don't know about, but yeah, you haven't. You right. You right on that one. You haven't shown to. You haven't shown to be a like a fleet-footed boxer. Like, but that's why who you get matched up with is what's important. You only as good as what you come up against in this sport. So if nobody made you have to access that layer of your game or add that layer to your game just because you've been walking through everybody. Yeah, I mean, you kind of. I mean, when it comes to that,
Right. Right. Let's get into the 54 division. Smash the like button, double tap the screen, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are on mobile devices. So we have Keith Thurman and Fundora this weekend, and you've been helping Keith out, main sparring partner. How's it been over there in Florida?
it was good. It was good. We put about a good solid 3 weeks in. The last time I was down there, I sparred him once, and we were getting set to spar the next day. That's when we found out Fundora was injured. Thurman was out on a bike ride, and I'm sitting with his coach Tony Morgan. He like, I just got the crazy man. Fundora's out. I said, get the fuck out of here. You serious? And then like, I've gotten bad news like that before, so I ain't even gonna lie. When he was on his way, Thurman was on his way back in. I was nervous of how he was gonna react. I knew he had been away and shit. I know it was going to deflate him, man, but he actually just stayed focused. He just like, well, that's the thing. He said, well, at least it's not me this time. Everybody thought it would be me. It's not me this time. And then and he just took it in stride. He took it in stride. So I got called by his coach what about like February 9th or something. I was getting ready for my fight with Ray Robinson. I told him, yeah, I fight February 21st. I can come down right after. Uh Another
Congratulations on the win.
appreciate that, man. Shout out to Jetta Promotions, man. And we got a WBA Continental title out the deal. So, thank you to the WBA for giving me the opportunity. And then so right after that fight, I took like a little like a week to rest and everything. And then Tony Morgan calls, and he's just like, "Yeah, man, can you come down?" I said, "Yeah, I can come down next week." Boom, I'm there. I'm packing up on the weekend. Airport Monday. I'm sparring Tuesday. So he sparred with me, and he brought a heavyweight in. I mean, for his height, his heavyweight's like 6'9". I'm sorry, not 6'9", 6'6". He's like 6'6". Not obviously he's not gonna be as fast as a junior middleweight, but it challenged Keith to not be staying for too much to not be standing for too much damage. He's boxing, he's setting up big counters and things like that. And that's what I think that's what it's going to take to beat Sebastian Fundora. Like a lot of people try to get in close, get in his chest, and try to muscle him, and people try to bust him, but they try to headhunt. What I've seen is a lot of people in the past have headhunted a lot, and it leaves them open for Thurman's uppercuts. I mean, I say Thurman for Fundora's uppercuts, things like that. But if you look at, I think this Thurman style matches up with Fundora well because he has lateral movement, and that helped a lot when Brian Mendoza knocked him out. Those guys, he's not going to be, he shouldn't be there for too much damage. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't be there for too much damage. Whereas by like the sixth or seventh round, people's faces are starting to show the wear and tear from being in there with Fundora. And my final, honestly, I think if Thurman gets him, it's gonna be, if he knocks him out, it's gonna be within 7 rounds.
Why you say it has to be early?
No, it don't
It,
have to be. It doesn't have to be early. I think, like I said,
does he fade at the end at late right now because of the age?
no, he doesn't. He doesn't. I would say he fades to the age, but like Thurman, he throws a lot of hard shots, and he's very busy. He's very busy. So, but his best, that's gonna be his best from like 1 to 7. That's gonna be his best version. After that, Fundora should but within that time, Fundora is gonna, he's gonna get rolling. He's gonna get rolling. He's gonna and then they're gonna have a fight. By the time round 5 and 6 come around, now we're gonna see whose game plan was best. But I think that Fundora is still defensively, he's still susceptible to big counters. But I think Thurman's punch selection is going to throw him off a lot. So, but if he catches him, I think it's going to be within those 7 rounds where he can actually catch Fundora and put him away. After that, Fundora is in his groove. He's throwing a lot of punches, and then he's going to have to pick his shots. So you'll always have an opportunity to walk him into something. But Fundora has shown to be like a boulder rolling downhill, where once he gets going, you gotta be able to stay out of his way. I think Thurman is going to be able to do that defensively because of his defensive capabilities and his lateral movement. But the big shot, if you're looking for the big shot that puts him away, is going to be. I would say within 7 rounds. If Thurman catches him within 7 rounds, Thurman can put him away. After that, this might be a hell of a fight all the way to 12. It'll go to decision.
Do they tell you, were you the only sparring partner?
No, no, no. They had it was mainly me, but it was another heavyweight. What's his name? Brandon Moore from Winter Haven, Florida. His only loss is to Richard Torres, so he can fight. Um, but they bring me down there because I'm at the weight class. Well, at first I was up under the weight class. Now I'm at the weight class. You're not gonna find nobody that close to your weight as tall as I am. I'm like one of the only people that can do it. Um, so yeah, it was so I was one of the main guys. It was just two of us.
Yeah. So you feel like they had the heavyweight to kind of like push the pace for
Yeah,
Keith, and then obviously try to get those uppercuts in there, and fight that type of a fight, and have you, because I was talking to Keith, right, and he was saying that, in the last fight we seen that Fundora was using more range,
yeah,
and he stopped me and said, "Yeah, Mills," because I said he just learned or whatever. He's like, "Did he just learn, or did he just not want to do it?" You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to cutting the distance, You obviously, if Keith's having a little success with you,
Yeah.
cutting the distance, we're assuming as boxing fans that he's going to be able to cut the distance with Fundora, because Fundora doesn't necessarily have that boxing IQ as far as long range is concerned, like yourself.
Yeah. I think so I think he's learning how to do it, but at the same time, his innate response to get into that mix is just there. So that's the thing too. I think um if Fundora's trying to hold the distance, and Thurman's having too much success, he's gonna revert back to what he knows how to do. You've heard him say it before. Like, I was, trying to keep my range and fight at range, but I do like to mix. You know what I mean? You might get them in, like you could you, no matter what you learn, or you teach somebody, you can still get them into like old habits, especially when you start getting worried. If he drops a couple rounds, he's gonna go for what he knows. He's gonna go back to doing what he knows. Even with the second Tim Zoo fight, I think he's fighting range, he doing his thing, but then Zoo still landed a couple shots on the way in. Fundora doesn't step back and recreate the distance. He kind of just goes through it, and then he goes and tries to fight with you, and he'll try to beat you back. He'll try to beat you back, and if he gets you back in a posture that he likes, then then he's had success. But you can't go be able to. Like I say, the way Thurman's throwing, if he gets Fundora into a firefight, he has a really good chance of landing like an overhand right or a big hook or something like that. If he can just get the youngin to be undisciplined. If he get it like holding your range and stuff like that as a tall fighter, it's a discipline thing where you want to be in the mix, but you're not supposed to. You know what I'm saying. You're not supposed to, and your coach is going. I mean, your most coaches are going to yell to you, man, get back behind your jab, do this, do that, do that. I don't know what Freddie Fundora is going to tell Sebastian in those moments, but like being at range is still new to Fundora, and he's still a warrior. He's still a warrior at heart. You
Yeah, like he doesn't have like long range traps.
Nah,
I
yeah, right.
like
That's
no
the
set.
thing.
There's no setups. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. That was there's no setups. There's no catching them on the way in. Like there's no pull counters, no back step counters. He hasn't shown that yet. But that requires you to have like good feet on you. Fedora's kind of flat footed. He's kind of flat footed. So that plays in the Thurman. That plays in the Thurman's hand. Thurman, you look throughout Thurman's career at any point. He's never really struggled with, like, you saw a guy coming out flat footed. He never really struggled with him. Danny Garcia, he was kind of flat footed. Um, um, he fought a bunch of Argentinians and Mexicans on the way up. Sean Porter gave him trouble. Sean Porter gives everybody trouble, but Sean Porter's active, like punching and moving. You know what I mean? So anybody that wasn't moving, anybody that wasn't moving, wasn't giving Thurman a lot of trouble. Anybody that kind of was stalking him, he just danced around him. He danced around. And he threw hard shots. He threw landed hard shots. But the other part of Thurman too is he's not just throwing one. He's not looking for one big bomb. He can vary high punch. He'll hit you. He'll step in with a combination, or sometimes he'll step in with a bomb. Then he'll start. He'll get out the way, and then he'll try to land another one, and then he'll come in, throw combinations again. So he's varying his offense a lot. He varies his offense. The movement varies, and the movement makes that varied offense even trickier.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like, all right, if the fight goes a distance, who does it favor more?
Honestly, the fight it more so favors Fundora, just as the younger man,
Hmm.
and his high output. When you got these high output guys, nobody starts from the gate with that high output. But as he gets settles into the fight, it favors as the fight's going on. The longer it goes, I think the more it favors Sebastian. How and then yeah, the output, and then like I said, Thurman will still contend, but it's going to get more difficult. It's going to get more difficult just because. bro. You 30. He's bro is 37, and then I think with Fundora might be like 9 years his junior. If there like there's not going to be a lot of fighting in spots. If you haven't hit him and gained his respect, you're gonna have to fight at a pace that you're not used to, and that's when trouble could rear its head. You know what I mean?
Was Thurman ever able to get your body at all? Get to your body?
Yeah, yeah. A couple times some ins or outs. He feints well. He feints well. I'll leave it. I kind of leave it there. He feints really well. So if he feint good, a couple times it froze me. Like, oh shit! I bit too hard on the feint, right? And then he slides in, like I said, that varied offense and combination. Couple shots to the body, finish upstairs, slide out, and he's back to setting up the next thing. But by that time that you won that moment, he let a lot go. He looked really busy. He looked really strong. That'll play into the judge's favor. Whereas like he's always looking for ways in. So since and when he does, he lets go a lot. That should play well for the judges. Be like, oh, here he's pushing the fight. He wants the action. Or if he throw 4 or 5 punches, if one or two get in, you win that exchange.
Now, salute to the chat, man. Great little key thing here. He says that would be the key of the fight, the body attack. So, listen, do you feel that way too? Do you feel like if he is being able to, target that body early, that it would probably slow down those gears for Fundora and the later rounds? You know what I mean? So he doesn't get that fast rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But that remember we just said like most of Fundora's guys, they I mean Fundora's past opponents, they headhunted. They headhunted a lot. They headhunted a lot, and I'm like, dog, you up? You out with this motherfucker's nipples. Nigga, just hit him in the chest, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hit him in the
Up
chest, hit
him
him
in
in
the
the
spot.
body, or punch was eye level. You know what I mean? And then cause really you throw a straight right hand in his solar plexus, or you whip your hook around to his liver and things like that. He's gonna he body shot. Everybody feels body shots. All right, even if something that was good, that was good. Boom, oh shit, that one hurt. But it's there. It's available. It's available to be hit, and dudes don't. I never really took advantage. When I was in the hotel, when I was watching both their old fights, just seeing how it matched up, I look like, why are you guys trying to take his head off? Y'all got to bring him down. Even when Zoo started throwing right hand, like he started throwing the straight right hand to the body, it was folding Fedora over a little bit, making him shorter. But people wanted, I don't know, people. I think since that Mendoza fight too, people want to throw that big joke that makes him fall like timber, like he went timber on down the way Brian Mendoza hit him. But I mean, like there's aspects to it. There's aspects to the game. Like Brian was able to use his feet to get himself in a good position. He threw the hook around his lead hand and threw the overhand right. And yes, he went down. He looked like a tree falling in the woods. He really did. I think people
Hmm.
got enamored. People want to see that. People want to recreate that. But I mean, no, his body is right there. His body is right there. Why aren't y'all attacking his body? Why aren't these guys attacking his body? I think Thurman will have a really good body attack that's gonna pay dividends. It's gonna pay dividends. If it zaps him if it zaps him in the beginning, because now we got to see guy I don't I never really hear much about who Fundora sparring and things like that, but we don't hear you don't. I know in his fights you don't see a lot of people really like I say attacking the body. We got to see how he takes a constant body attack and see how he reacts. But it's gonna open him up too. When you got to defend your body, your hands come down a little bit, and then bam, something come over top. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And with Keith and some other opponents, like even like Erickson Lubin, he's a neat fighter, right?
Mm.
Um, Tim Tszyu doesn't move his head for the life of him, right? You just think of some of the opponents that Fundora has had. When you look at Keith Thurman, he's had such a good amateur career. He's able to be not necessarily the most neatest fighter. He's kind of unorthodox in some ways, especially
Yeah.
when he throws his right hand. You don't know where it's coming, if it's coming over the top,
Yeah.
looping to the side, nice uppercuts that he has. But and then also head movement, like he
Yeah.
does that while taking the shot, moving out the line. And
Yeah.
these are the things that you need to beat somebody like that. You need to make sure that you know obviously make him, because even Brian Mendoza, he's not on a keep level type of a fighter. Brian Mendoza,
Yeah. 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 It
good
just
fighter.
yeah, great fighter.
He's gonna
I
be
mean,
fighting Tellis on the card.
he is. He is. I'll be tuned into that too.
Yeah, me
But
too.
yeah, but yeah. So like a lot of people haven't done with around that weight class haven't done what Thurman has done. You can talk about his uh his
Inactivity.
his inactivity. You know what I mean? You can talk about his inactivity, and then but when it was when you look at what he was doing and during his come up, like he's still that he's doing what he's gonna do what he knows. That's what he does. He'll, like you said, he'll throw a big right hand and dip out and things like that, but it keeps him out of danger. It keeps him out of danger between him zipping around the ring and throwing bombs. You gotta pick your moments. You gotta pick your moments when you're gonna fight, when you're gonna try your hand with Keith Thurman. He has a lot of he feints, like I say, he feint really good. That's gonna create some space between them. That's gonna create a little bit of delay in somebody's offense, especially after he lands a big shot. Boom, you know what I'm saying?
He can't be on the ropes at all in this fight.
No, no, he cannot. He absolutely cannot be on the ropes. I will say that for sure. He cannot be on the ropes. And should he get in any trouble like that, he needs to just tie him up, stop the action. Like, don't try to circle away from him,
Yeah,
trying to
because you
create
will
that
get
space. He
gassed.
can, yeah, and he can cover. Fundora can cover that space. You know what I'm saying? He'll cover that space with just his punches. Unless you can get him to get careless and make him leave his feet, then go for it. A little like a back step. You go flying in after he switches his stance or something. Go for it. But he don't. Like this one is that's the thing about this fight. This fight is gonna unveil more of Fundora, more layers to Fundora than it is for Thurman. Thurman loses. It's like, well, he's already old, but but Thurman's the older former world champion.
Veteran.
Yeah, he's the vet. He's the vet. Now we're really gonna see and all vets in any sport got they moves, got their tricks or whatever. We're gonna see how the young, because he's 28, Fendora's still 28. We're gonna see how this young deals with that. Normally, a lot of the stuff that you see in the gym. I say this, you want to see it in the gym before you see it live action. By then it might be too late. But we're like this one's gonna unveil more about Fundora than Thurman. We know what to kind of expect from Thurman. I think if you've watched Thurman, if you've been a Thurman fan, you know what to expect, how he's gonna fight and things like that. We're gonna see I think we're gonna see where Fundora's IQ is in this fight. We're really gonna see where his IQ is when this one's done.
On DraftKings, they got Fundora minus 380. So
Yeah.
he's the favorite, but that's not bad. 380? Were you expecting 380? And then obviously Thurman plus 280.
But so I thought, yeah, that's not what is that? That's not a big split, right?
That's not a big spread.
That's not a big spread. I feel like it was
It's not like Hernandez and Gousse, which is like Hernandez is a minus 1200.
oh yeah, see, but that lets you know like that people know this one isn't as cut and dry as people think they are. That means the opinion is split a little better, and for Thurman and Fundora, but for good reasons, for good reasons, like being in the camp where I'm like, oh, if he can do this, if he can land this, if he go, I say, I'm watching, but if he lands a shot like that, we're gonna Thurman. I mean, if Thurman lands a shot like that, Fundora, we're gonna find out. We're gonna start answering some questions about Fundora. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like looking at the fight. Like when it first was announced, I was like, oh, this seems a little out of nowhere. But I knew I was gonna get called. I know somebody was gonna get in touch with me, so I started watching. I started watching Fundora. I started watching Thurman. I'm like, you know, I'm like thinking in my head, like Thurman in his 20s, probably no question. The only questions about Thurman are: does he still got enough in the gas tank? And then the questions about Fundora is, bro, do you belong up here? Do you got the IQ to deal with a veteran like this?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Thurman, one of the bigger punches you shared the ring with.
Yeah, he's definitely a big puncher. He hit. He caught me with an overhand right. I tell you, but it was like I said, it was due off the setup. I won't say how he necessarily set it up just because I don't know who all is listening right now, but he set me up with an overhand right. It was a heavy shot. I never got like stunned in the camp or nothing, but I'm like, boy, I like when he landed, bow. I was upset with myself. I'm like, "Dude, you land one of those, you might break a lot of hearts. You know what I mean? But he knows how to set up big shots. But it all stems, like I said, it stems from where his punch variation. It's not typical. You like even looking now, like I think like if you were to fight Thurman, who would you call? Who would you call for sparring? I'd probably have to call a few people. You know what I mean?
He's
I'd have to say,
dynamic. He's
yeah,
dynamic.
dynamic. He does, like I say, he does things. He does things. He has his own style. I guess
Unorthodox.
you probably would label it awkward just because it's not it's
It's not
not
a
one way.
conventional style.
Yeah, it's not one way. It's not conventional. So you might need a pressure guy. You might need a output guy, but you also might need a guy that can set up bombs. You know what I mean? You might need a few different looks. I mean, I'm from an area where there's good work all up and down the road. So by the time the fight comes, I got my best foot forward. But I don't know I don't really know who Fundora spars with, anything like that. Even when you watch the joint, they in some barn or some shed they built together. They doing the boot camp, the little obstacle course. They do things their own. They do things their own way, and it's been working for him and his sister Gabriella. And, like, shout out to her. You like if you want to talk about who uses their distance and who fights their dimensions better, it's definitely Gabriella Fundora. She's applying pressure. She's behind her jab, and they look like they're a mile off when they miss her. You know what I mean? But yeah, they do their own thing. Thurman would be a hard one to Thurman would have some layers that would have to layer your preparation. You have to layer your preparation. We need a few different looks.
I love it. I love it. Smash the like button, double tap the screen if you guys are on mobile devices. I got a poll here. Make sure you put your last minute votes. Who wins this fight next week coming up? Keith Thurman versus Fundora. You guys have 52% of you guys believe Fundora wins. It's only 56 votes though, guys. Let's get the votes up. Get the likes up as well, man. Um Getting into the next topic, man, and still the same division. They say that they're Jerron Boots, Ennis, and Xander Zayas in talks, man.
Yeah,
Major talks. Listening to the broadcast on the zone, Max Chris Maddox
yeah,
says that it's Xander Zayas that's really trying to push the matters of wanting to get the Jerron Boots Ennis fight. Um, Eddie Hearn says that that's a great fight, but in the same time he says that it could be a good fight for Kelly as well. Um,
yeah,
Kelly holds the IBF strap.
yeah,
Ennis is looking for a fight. They're not trying to entertain any more Virgil Ortiz talks. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what's your overall opinion on the negotiations that they're so, in depth for those? But then in the same time, knowing that Eddie Hearn does have Josh Kelly with the IBF title. I was listening to an interview. He said that imagine him fight Zaya and then go straight to Jerome Boots Ennis. He doesn't like that idea. So I was thinking, what's a softer touch for Josh Kelly?
And between Xander and Boots.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's no soft touch. The only reason I would say there's a soft touch, and this is only because this isn't because it's a soft it's a soft style, but I would say Boots only because a little bit of lack of inactivity. He only had one round in some months. Like he stopped Lima, but that was the most that was the most time he had. That's the only real reason I can say it's a soft touch. If you think about Josh, if you're looking at Josh Kelly, if Xander and Boots are on the table, it's not really a matter of who's the soft touch. It's about who you can get more for at this point. And I mean, but I mean, the thing about it is when you listen to the fans, they would prefer Boots and Xander. You know what I mean? I know Eddie's got two guys at 54 to look after, but you can't really. It looks like it's showing a little favoritism if you just lean towards the British guy because I guess y'all British together and things like that. But but the popular consensus, the more popular fight, the fight that got people buzzing more, is for sure, without a doubt, Boots versus Xander. Virgil's out because Rick and Oscar are battling it out right now. So I don't know what I feel for Virgil, man. I don't know what's about to happen next time. He either got to make amends with Oscar. He's got to sit Rick and Oscar down. I don't know. Because Oscar's like he's not fucking with Rick, and now Virgil's just kind of paying the price, so he might be sitting around for forever. But as far as Josh Kelly, I mean, I think, like I said, Xander and Boots is the fight we want to see. Josh Kelly can be a disruptor. You know what I mean? Or he can wait and then get the winner. I mean, it's a lot of options, but Eddie has two fighters he has to please right now. So no matter who, I think whoever gets the fight, one's gonna be upset unless Eddie can spin it like, bro, Xander wanted him. Unless you say Xander wanted him, I'm sorry, Xander wanted him. I can't do nothing about that. You know what I mean? But I mean, Eddie hears the noise. Eddie hears all the talking. He knows who they want to see. You know what I mean? Who everybody wants to see in that ring. They want to see Boots versus Xander. They want to see that you hear Boots versus Virgil. You hear Boots versus Xander. Don't even shout out, respect to what Josh Kelly did, but that fight with Montezaliev only mattered to everybody overseas. It didn't matter over here. It's a title change hands, but popular consensus. The hardcores watched it. I watched it. You might have watched it, but that was for the hardcores. That wasn't Xander and Boots. That's for that's
Yeah,
that's
because
for
you would
the
have had to
everybody.
rock it where you would have had to watch that during the day too.
Right, you had to watch it during the day. I watched it. Like I said, I'm a fan like that. Everybody's not a fan like that, but
Hmm.
everybody knows who Xander and Boots is. They can put that anywhere on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? They can put it in New York. They can put it in Philly. They can put it in Jersey. Uh, you get a big arena that's gonna pack the house because the Puerto Ricans is coming out. You get it close to Philly. All the Bulls coming out. You know what I mean? So it's just a more popping fight. It's just a more popping fight, and I feel like however it shakes though, one of those fighters that Eddie has is going to be dissatisfied with Eddie. I mean, Eddie can talk. Eddie can what I'm saying. Eddie can sell water to a well. He can talk that talk, but it only gets to be so much when you start like, man, look, I told you I wanted that fight. How I know you ain't push for him harder than you push for me, and things like those kind of so you sow those kind of seeds of doubt. But like me personally, I want to see Boots and Xander. I would like to see Boots and Xander. And it's interesting. Another interesting part of it is that it will be a three-belt unification if it's Xander and Josh Kelly, and I still think people would rather see Boots fight Xander. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so we obviously got the news that Top Rank is on the zone now.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm gonna turn my light on real quick.
I mean, you guys tell me in the comments section, is this a pay-per-view, Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis, or is this the Zone Free TV?
Hmm. I'm not, you know me, I'm not full paying more money than I got to. But if
Yeah,
if it's gonna be a pay per view fight, it's got Boots and Xander. I think is it. Yeah, it's probably pay per view. It's
yeah,
probably pay per
yeah.
view worthy.
If Z-
But you still
it,
got to put a banging ass undercard on there too. That's the thing about pay per views. Y'all make the main fight a pay per view. Make a pay per view worthy cut. Like make a banging ass main event and at least a banging ass main event, a banging ass co-main. If we get some good Jones sprinkled somewhere on the prelims, cool, even better. But don't just make it a pay per view for the sake of just the main event. I think that's the problem that boxing has. We sell fights, and that instead of selling events.
yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, even next week, I mean, Keith Thurman and Fundora, that's a PBC pay-per-view event. You know.
I mean, that's a PBC pay per view, but I still feel like I said, like the names on the card, hardcores know. We know Brian Mendoza, we know Yoenis Tellez, we know Yo Hernandez and Gachet, but I don't think they bring mass appeal. I mean, I think Fundora barely kind of brings the mass appeal. To be honest, I mean, he's a like because of how tall he is, he brings a I guess like a novelty. He brings a who this tall dude. He brings a little bit of wonder to the sport, but not as not mainstream. Like Devin, like for a time, David Benavidez was about to go with almost as it was or is almost about to go like mainstream. A lot of fighters can't do that. You know what I mean? But the way he fights and the people and what he does, how he like kind of what he does to people, you know, during his fights, where he's kind of just beating them down. You know, it's starting to cross over into other like all sports media. You know, doing sitting down with different people, sitting down with different uh you know with different streams. I mean, productions and things like that. But you know, this fight, great card coming up. Pay per view worthy. If I go by what I hear from people that spending their hard earns, nah. I know the guys. I can say if I know these guys, I know it. Yeah, okay, maybe I might buy it, but I'm in the business.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's pay-per-view worthy if, like you said, if you got a decent co-main, then I think it's definitely pay-per-view because of the names. Like you got two names. You know what I mean? Because think about it, right? Fundora, Keith Thurman,
Yeah,
pay-per-view.
yeah. I,
Teron Ennis, Xander Zayas. That shit gotta be pay-per-view.
I feel like it
It
will.
just
I feel
makes
like it
more
will be.
sense.
Look, this is how I kind of base it. Like I go. You base it off of who like the people you know and people you
Keith
know in
Thurman,
your life.
Keith Thurman needed Pacquiao to be pay-per-view for his
He did.
first fight.
He did, yeah. But Pacquiao's mainstream. But that's how you base it. You base off you go into a spot and you listen to who's talking about boxing and you listen to like how heavily invested they are. You can kind of tell who's going like you go and sit in if you sit in the barber shop for like an hour waiting to get your hair cut. Booth's name comes up. Booth's name might come up a few times. Thurman name Thurman been away. His name ain't been coming up like that. Fundora, I mean, he's who that tall dude. You know what I mean? He's not getting necessarily name value off strength, but as soon as you say tall dude, first you must be talking about Fundora, the younger with the dude, the tall dude with the glasses, blah blah blah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah, they're
think
not
he doesn't
mainstream.
speak. He doesn't speak Spanish, right? That's what it is.
I think he does when he's in because when he's in his corner, his father speaking Spanish to him. But I mean, he's not a he's
I never heard him speak. Have you heard him speak
I've
Spanish?
never heard him speak Spanish. I've never heard Sebastian Fundora speak Spanish. But I feel like I heard his dad speaking Spanish to him. You know what I mean? I would. we have now I got to check some old fights, but that type of appeal that does if he's not
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
speak
yeah.
Spanish, like
That's a big deal.
it's a disservice. Yeah, you shouldn't be like if you don't speak like if you don't speak Spanish and you're Hispanic, you need to learn. You tapping it, you missing out on the audience. You missing out on the audience because then they look at you as you very Americanized. Like nah, man, you got to be able to do it. Like you went around like back in the day. I don't speak Spanish, but I got that Mexican blood in it. But I'm like, thank God you knocked this dude out. But they don't, they don't they want to anybody wants to see themselves kind of in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So when you see so when even when you got guys that are bilingual and they switch over to Spanish, that's when the Spanish crowd go. I mean, the Spanish speaking crowd goes crazy. Like they're happy, but then when he viva la la la, you know what I'm saying whatever, it helps. You know what I'm saying? It helps. Like because you're a representation. Xander's a representation of an entire island right now.
That's
You know what
how.
I'm saying?
That's
Trinidad.
really how Canelo blew up because Canelo didn't know how to speak English in the beginning of his
Yeah,
career.
that was his thing. He spoke Spanish and he looked Irish. You know what I'm saying? Little redhead dude speaking Spanish. I remember when he was fighting Shane Mosley on the Mayweather Cotto undercard. I was sitting next to a dude like, yeah, white boy putting it on Shane. I said, bro, that dude Mexican, like fully Mexican. He said, nah. I said, as soon as he started talking, he's like, oh shit. And then look, and that's the thing. It's funny because when I was in high school, my PE coach, he was like, you know what's gonna happen? He doing this thing now, but he gonna really go. He really gonna go crazy when he learns how to speak English. And then this motherfucker learns how to speak English. That motherfucker became a menace. English speaking that now he's on the radio show with Big Boy. He's talking to he's talking on ESPN. He's doing everything. Now he done crossed over, but he never forgot that. But he's just Mexican star. He's just the Mexican. They look at him as the Mexican star that can just walk in both worlds. And I mean, you have to be able to as a like it's kind of it's unfortunate, but that's the thing about it. As a Spanish speaking fighter, you got to. I mean, as a Hispanic fighter, Latino fighter, you're expected to speak Spanish. You know what I mean?
And that's how Xander's blowing up right now
Right.
because he
At
was
the Super
signed.
Bowl, Bam was at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
You ain't never seen no fighters, no boxers at the Super Bowl like that. He's over there, him and
Emilio,
Emiliano.
Emiliano. Yep,
Yeah, him and Emiliano. I'm like, I'm like, oh, that's a good look for him. But that's shout out to us, as boxers. You know what I'm saying? That's a good look for us.
for sure. For sure, 100%. Yeah, he's blowing up because signed at 16, you already have the American media being attacked by you in the beginning and us seeing you. But then
Yeah,
he goes to like all these Spanish media that
right. Those outlets,
that
he
everyone's
owns those
not
outlets.
privileged to because we don't know how to speak Spanish or the
Right,
people that don't know how to speak Spanish, right?
right.
So I listen to a lot of those podcasts, so I see the numbers and the traffic that they get. So I know that Xander is definitely blowing up right now, and
Yeah,
especially in Puerto Rico too.
no, for sure, for sure. Like, and that's a good thing about like he started at 16. He got his island behind him, and he got top rank behind him early on.
Yeah.
All of
Anytime he
that,
does the Puerto Rican parade, it's gonna be sold out.
yeah, all of that matters when cultivating, and he can fight. All that matters when cultivating a champion,
Yeah, like
especially in this day and age.
that's what I'm saying. Like to me, in my opinion, he could sell out with Josh Kelly on Puerto Rican parade.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could definitely do that. And then all the negotiating power would be in his favor. Like, look, Eddie, we got Puerto Rican parade coming up. This is what we want. This is what we want him. I mean, if we want Josh, if Josh fighting there, Josh fighting there. I mean, I think either way. No, let's say with that, depending on when they do it in the year, that the Puerto Rican Day parade or that weekend, I guess that's a big bargaining chip. Look, we're gonna put Xander here. Boots or Josh can fight him. I think if they put Boots there, that's Puerto Ricans from New York, from Philly, from all over coming in. Plus whatever fans Boots got. It's a bigger deal just because you got two guys from the states fighting Puerto Rican Day parade. If you bring, you can bring Josh Cherry from over. I mean, I think it would just look it would just look like, man, they brought this dude as tribute. You know what I mean? Josh can fight. Don't get me wrong, Josh can fight, but to come on international waters on that parade weekend and things like that, all of that's going against him. He's far from home, and he's in hell. It's definitely without a doubt enemy territory. So it wouldn't be a favorable. It wouldn't be a. I don't think if there was any controversy, they would say, "Oh man, well, you know who they wanted to win." So I mean, you gotta pick the moment the right way.
If listening to Eddie saying that he's not gonna put Kelly with boots right away, it just makes sense if you're if you're Eddie, that you say, listen, let these guys with belts fight each other.
Yeah,
And let's get a two let's work out a two fight deal with PBC. Let me get Charlo, and let me go get that the fight, the winner of Thurman and Fundora, so you at least have a belt for maybe undisputed for the next Puerto Rican parade coming up. Now that just makes just more sense.
yeah, but that's a lot. But it makes some sense. But there's not a lot of there's a lot of margin for error. I think a Charlo could still come back and upset. Um, if Josh doesn't fight Boots, and Boots goes on and fights Xander, what if Boots beats Xander? That all of that goes out the way. But Xander, not Xander, Josh still has a belt. He has to defend too. He can't fight any old body. He might have a mandatory. I don't know, but I mean, there's still a lot of margin for error. That's them when they we've seen a lot of fights go by the wayside because people are concocting these grand schemes. So man, put these guys in. Let them dogs eat. The bigger dog gonna eat the smaller dog. Um, we lost Charlo and Hurd back in the day. We had to wait more time for Mayweather and Pacquiao. Like we waited 5 years for Earl and Bud. Like I
Because
can't keep.
there's not much negotiation power Jerron Ennis has coming into a Xander Zayas fight right now.
Well, maybe not, but like
Think about it.
he probably don't. He probably doesn't. But it's kind of an investment thing. You don't have a belt up there. You need a name. You have a belt. You don't have a belt up there, and you need a name, bro. You win this one. You're the man at 54.
You
It's
need the
an
promoter that's gonna put up the bucks.
I mean, uh between between Eddie and Top Rank, they have the Bucks. They have the Bucks to put them up. I mean, I mean, there are things that like where you put, like I said, where you put the fight and when you do the fight, all these things matter. So I mean, if you play it right, they'll make out. Everybody should make out. They'll make out fine. But now that all of y'all are under that DAZN umbrella, the zone's probably going to put the zone highest probably going to let y'all need to make something happen. We want something big. All it takes is one dude to be, look. I don't give a fuck what plan you had. Make Xander and Boots. Make it now. That's the fight. That's the fight we'll invest in. Make it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who do you think wins the fight?
Between Boots and Xander, I would lean towards Boots. I think they're both pretty athletic. They're both athletic. They're both great boxers. I think Boots is coming into his prime years a little sooner than Xander is. Xander, and that's the thing. Xander's winning all these belts and things, and he has time to keep growing and things like that. But once you fast track a guy like Top Rank did, the way they did, it's you don't get to say he's not ready yet. What do you mean he's not ready yet? Was he ready when he won those two belts he got? He looked real ready then. What you mean? You know what I mean? So I would lean towards I would lean towards Boots. Like I said, entering this prime strong. I think both of them are going to present challenges. They're going to both present something that uh that neither has seen yet. Just in the sense of like this is like both of them will be the first fight that I think they expect. Like you're not expected to just win this fight. You know what I mean? They're not just expected to win this fight. You got like that's when you're building a fighter in the beginning. You got fights. You're gonna win. You're gonna beat these guys. You're just getting your feet wet. then you step it up a little bit. It's like, all right, these guys are gonna put up more resistance, but they're not. And then you'll beat them. Then you step it up again. It's all right. This one's kind of 50-50 now. That's where they are. Like, bro, y'all wanted to be champions. Y'all wanted to win belts. Now there is no, oh man, a few more, maybe in a few more fights. That needs to go away, bro. You're here now. That you should have told me that. You should have said a few more fights before I got a belt around your waist. You know what I mean? Right there, you gotta make that shit happen.
Okay. Okay, I like it. I see you. Um, Division is hot. I like the 54 division. I like I think it's good. Now, when you get into like, the Xander and Boots situation, right? Boots had issues with Karen, right?
Uh,
A guy that was strong, really good. He was a really good fighter. Um, but Xander, he opposes what Karen does, but a bigger man. A
yeah.
bigger younger man at that.
Mm,
Interesting fight because I like to see someone that opposes a nice jab, a nice combinations that is got the range on Boots. It kind of like you said, it opposes a different type of threat that he hasn't seen so far in his career.
yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Like for Boost, when Boost fought Karen, that was another time where it was there were this is out of the norm and what we match you up with. You know, anybody that's flat footed is gonna have a bad time with Boost. Because remember, right after he fought Karen that first time, he fought Roman Villa, and because Boost didn't look like the special dude he was looking like before then, everybody thought, oh man, Roman's gonna give him some trouble. I got on Twitter, I got on a couple of Twitter spaces. I'm like, dog, tell y'all right now, Karen and Roman don't fight the same. Roman is tailor made. Roman was tailor made for Boost because he's flat footed. Boost is gonna style on him, hurt him, and stop him. I was at that fight, and I was when I was at that fight, I was sitting right behind Villa's corner. It was getting so bad that Steven Espinosa walked over to the corner. He's like watching, like, hey, look here, like basically walking like, bro, I'm not about to have no fatalities on my network, essentially, right? That's how he's looking. A couple more rounds go by. Gilly's in the far neutral corner. He goes over there, he yells, hey man, are you blind? Stop the fucking fight. All that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And then after that, a couple rounds later, Samson comes walking around. Don't cut this. Like, there's other fight. There'll be other times, but if you don't, but you got to cut this now. And right as Samson came around that corner, like, man, that's it. You need to stop it. Boost finishes him up. Boost finishes him up right then and there. So it's but that style was so tailor made for Boost. Like, you can't really sit in front of him. That's so Xander's gonna bring a different layer to this. He like I said, he moves. This
He's
is
bigger than Villa. He's better
he's
than
bigger.
Villa.
He's bigger than Villa. He's bigger than Karen. Um,
He's a
I
better
mean,
boxer.
he
He's
don't
a better
like,
boxer than Villa.
huh?
He's a way better boxer than
Yes, way
Villa.
better boxing than Villa, and he's more like he moves, he creates angles, but Puerto Ricans, they don't do a bunch of sitting toe to toe unless they have to. They got the heart to do it, but they lead with boxing. They lead with their
Yeah, they
boxing
got
skills.
salsa. We got adobo, sazon. We
Yeah,
got flavor.
right, right, and that's exactly why it's gonna be a good fight. I think but in the same token, uh Xander is going to be going up against a guy that moves a lot too. Moves and creates angles. Also has flavor. You know what I mean? So that's going to be like I like that fight almost a little more than I like the Virgil fight. I liked it a little more. I like the Virgil fight for popularity reasons and everything like that. Virgil's a bad motherfucker.
Right, he could get cooked.
Yeah, Virgil's a bad motherfucker, but he gets touched up a lot. And
Yeah.
I didn't think like even when Virgil beat Madrimov, both his eyes were cut and split and bloody. I'm like, no, he can't. Like, that's when they really start talking about him and Boots. I'm like, he can't take that shit from Boots. That
Mm.
that type of shit's gonna get dangerous. Same side of the coin. is that Virgil can't. I mean, Boots shouldn't get hit with what Virgil is going to be throwing. But but Boots does his best to get out of the way. He doesn't mind getting hit, but when he's slipping, rolling, look off, all that shit, that's him. That's him avoiding a lot of damaging blows. But so now when we come back to Boots and Xander, that's just gonna be that's the one to make to me for skill to really match skill for skill. We're gonna see who does that better. They do some of the same shit. We're gonna see who does it better.
Yeah, because with the Virgil, someone's getting laid out.
Yeah,
Someone's getting flatlined eventually.
Yeah, somebody's getting caught. You know what I mean? I think, but like I said, Boost is dynamic and he's real. There's finesse and a lot of style. You get a lot of style points behind what he do, but it keeps him out of danger. It makes him look sharp. He got power, and he can be hard to hit when he can be hard to hit when he want to be. I mean, anybody that says Boost doesn't have defense, I wouldn't say he doesn't have defense. He doesn't have traditional. Well, actually, he has some traditional defense. You'll see him catching shots, but he does like to slip, roll, turn out, switch stances, do the fancy shit. But when it comes down to it, he'll have longevity in the sport due to his ability to avoid damage. Him and Xander.
Yeah, but the fundamentals is what's gonna keep you the longevity.
That's
You
true
know,
too.
the classics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you come in like Roy Jones and you trying to go off of your speed and ability and keeping your hands down, you're gonna have a short career because
you get caught. That it slips. It slips. I think he moves. I think he moves with more athleticism than fundamentals, but it can be. But it can be. It can be. I mean, it can be learned. It can be learned, or it starts. It start. No, why does it say this? It starts at a young. You learn it at a young level, but then like implementing it, like bro, like at a certain point, you tell them though, don't forget, like man, lock in on your fundamentals. That shit that's so simple is difficult. It's gonna be the shit. Gonna be the shit that keeps you in this game for as many years as you want to be in the game, as opposed to how much longer you'll be in the game. You know what I mean?
100%. It will pay dividends at the end for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like your noggin. You get clipped too much. The longevity of a mind getting rattled all the time.
Yeah. That shit takes its toll. It takes its toll, but when it finally happens, it surprises you. Like, nah, you gotta like. I give credit to my dad coaches me. He's heavy on not getting hit. Like even now, I'm gonna be going blue in the face trying to teach his amateurs. Like, bro, like, you do this punch, you do this punch, do this punch. How do you defend them? They be like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, dude. Everything you try to hit somebody with, you need to know how to defend. And some of these youngins be brickheads, man. But we trying our best, Mill. We trying our best.
Facts. Hey, were you able to see the Pro Box fight with Lester Martinez and your boy Aleem? He's from your area, right?
Yeah, well, he's from Richmond, Virginia, but he definitely comes down the area to he comes to the DMV to spar and stuff. So he does a lot, like he did a lot of sparring. Him and my brother used to spar a lot. He did a lot of sparring with he does a lot of sparring with like Nashi Smith. He's a light, what's he, light super middleweight or light. I think they're gonna have him at light heavy. I mean, I think they're gonna have him at super middleweight. He's a super middleweight and an undefeated super middleweight. He is what 8 or 9-0 now. But yeah, I caught some of it. I was at the fight in Florida. I was at Ammo and them, but I saw a good amount of it. I mean, Lester just was the better man though. He's boxing, he's touching him. I think Emmanuel had a lot of issues with Lester's offense. He took the shots well, but
Oh, he got a chin and a half. Wow.
yeah, he definitely got a chin, but he just was getting hit a little too. He just taking too many shots,
Yeah.
and not giving enough back. But it's a high. At the high level, it's for a world title. You know what I mean? So shout out to
Lester Martinez.
yeah, shout out to Lester
And
Martinez. He got a good team with him. I saw him fight. He fought in DC one time on a pro box card when Lamont Roach defended his belt against Figo McGrory. I watched him on the undercard. Les is a bad dude, but I mean, shout out to Emmanuel. He'll be back. He'll get hopefully he gets another chance. Hopefully he at least gets another big fight. We'll see what happens. It's still we're literally a day removed, but I am excited that hopefully we get the Lester Martinez and Billy rematch. Though I will say that I thought that was a great fight, and I don't think Billy's fought since then. But I honestly, even right after the fight, I figured Lester would be the one that made the adjustments that would lead him to a victory in a rematch. So I'm curious to see if that fight gets made.
Yeah, I agree. Bomac was saying if it was a 12 rounder, they feel like they would have been able to get him out of there
Yeah.
in that fight with Billy and Lester.
They was rumbling. They was for sure. They was for sure rumbling. But like I said, even in that fight, the adjustments being made were, like I said, with Lester Martinez. I think really the only adjustments that Billy will make is he might. I'm just press him harder this time. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said that Billy turned the rematch down. I mean,
Yeah, he did.
I guess if you knew you was going to be elevated to world champion, you would. I guess anybody would have turned it down.
I mean, wait a minute. And Billy's not world champ, is he?
They elevated him to full world champion
for the WBO.
WBC.
A WBC. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
That's why
no,
I
no,
thought.
no.
Huh? Yeah.
Lester has it.
No, Lester has an interim WBC.
That's the interim.
Yeah, they elevated and Billy to full champion.
Okay.
And made Lester interim. I guess if Billy turned the
So
rematch
that's
down,
why Canelo's fighting in Billy. Okay.
Oh, that's a go for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So I guess Lester's fighting the winner.
Yeah, well, he should. I mean, like as a WBC interim, he should get a crack. He should get first crack.
Yeah, 100%. Here it is, right here, actually.
You want that rematch, people, or who do you want for him?
I want that Billy. I want that rematch.
You want that rematch with him.
Rematch.
Like Billy round fight, we didn't get. A lot of us felt like.
Shout out to Marcus Hayes.
Anyway,
Fight Hub.
This was a 12-round for a title. That fight was a 12-round was for a title, but it went 10. What kind of shit is that? That's some the same title. The same title, but they go at 10. They push it to a 10-rounder at the last week. What the that's
how badly this Lester rematch with.
We jumped on it right away. When they called me, I told them, yeah, let's go. Let's get that rematch. But guess who said no? Guess who said no?
Mbele.
Then he got, a couple weeks later, guess what? He got an email.
Just like you just said, Mike.
Yeah, I told you.
Email. You didn't even fight for this. He didn't even try to call Bud out or nothing. He didn't even try. He just sat there on his side and just kept checking his.
Imagine if he called them out. Is he saying something? Trash. If he called them out, we would have still had Bud and then Billy.
That wasn't paid enough. That's that Bud. I think
Facts.
After you paid what Bud got paid for Canelo, that's why.
Yeah, if you ain't fighting Canelo back again, it's like who else you gonna fight?
Yeah, nobody else up there at the time to get him that money. But I mean, politics. The politics. We fighters. We ain't politicians, man.
100%. 100%. So getting into that 47 division, you see that Devin's gonna be fighting Rolly Romero possibly May 30th.
Yeah. I was honestly. I mean, it's a good fight, world title fight. You know what I'm saying? Go nab your another belt. You know what I mean? I was hoping I had seen stuff about him and Ryan fighting each other a second time, but I guess that ain't the case. But like I told you before, though, if you're gonna be Debo Dev, just remember Debo broke out of prison to run a rematch with Craig. He faced extra time to get that rematch. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't know. Devin's look like Devin dancing around it. Like if you think it was just PEDs or whatever, go ahead, go get that. Go get that. But as far as the Rolly fight goes, you get credit. I'll give you credit for the Rolly fight. You win the Rolly fight because Rolly beat Ryan. Rolly beat Ryan, and he beat him clean. Beat him
And
clean.
the
So
unification.
yeah, and it'd be for unification. So I understand why you're going this route. I mean, I don't know if he might get more than likely he's probably trying to gain favor in negotiations. Like, nah, I got 2 belts, you got 1. ASAP, blah blah, ASAP, BSAP. You know what I'm saying? So they want to do all that, but yeah, I think as far as that goes, like Rolly's has gotten better, but he's not gonna become the boxer that Devin is. So, got I'm gonna go with Devin for that one. And Devin by decision.
Devin by decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder, can Rolly oppose more of a threat than Brian Norman did?
Huh.
Because
There
I
was a
mean,
version of him that would have. I think it would. Honestly, the older version would have because he was wild. He was, But we know I take that back. I mean, because I don't like. We have a different version of Devin now. Devin after the Ryan fight. You can say it's a no contest. You can say whatever you want to say about it, but at the bottom line, the damage was done.
mhm.
The damage has been done, and I mean, Devin had to get regain his confidence. He's back training with Mickey Bay. I think that's an important aspect to it. You know what I mean? I think that's when he looks his best. Uh,
I agree.
as far as Rolly, I mean, like I said, he's not gonna be the boxer. He's never gonna be the boxer that Devin is. He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna win. He's not gonna beat Devin in a boxing match. So I still lean towards Devin.
You think he can make it a brawl and be able to do it that way? Maybe Silas tells him maybe you got to do this. Maybe you got to go an over the top hook. You got to do something unordinary. Nah.
Yeah, that's his best. That's his best chance. Like anything, honestly, anybody that goes in with Devin that plans to outbox him probably. You got to be a certain unless you like Keyshawn Davis, you're probably not gonna win.
How about a
You know what I mean?
Shakur Stevenson?
Shakur could outbox, but I don't know if Shakur is big enough. I don't know if Shakur. I don't know if Shakur.
Mm.
Yeah, that's only that I don't know if he's big enough. He won a belt at 140, but like he just got to 140. Now you send him up to 147. He might be too small. He might be too small.
Shit, Devin did like what, 2 fights at 140?
Yeah, he did a couple fights at 40. But he did one fight at 40 and then one fight at 143
143, yeah.
because Ryan
So that
Chris
kind of
didn't get
helps.
weight.
That kind of helps your way of getting up to 47, I guess.
Yeah, definitely did. And Devin's naturally bigger. I mean, I say this. I won't count Shakur out at all. You never count him out because he's hard to hit, and that definitely counts for something. I don't know. Fans probably wouldn't enjoy that fight. I would watch it as a boxing purist, but I think Keyshawn is willing to roll the dice a little more. And
That's the fight to make is Keyshawn
yeah,
and Devin.
Keyshawn and Devin. I think I'd rather see that one.
Who do you think wins that one?
Honestly, I think Keyshawn's confidence level, Keyshawn's skill and his confidence through the roof. His skill set's tremendous. He hasn't had, that like I said that Ryan fight is a damaging one. But even at 135, you've seen Devin hurt, things like that. So Keyshawn, like I said, his confidence would be through the roof in that fight, and that matters. Mindset matters a lot in this sport, and I think that plays in heavy favor in that fight.
So Keyshawn goes over there, obviously more imposing his will into that fight because he's been showing that he's the puncher. Um, but what, you feel like he outboxes Devin? Do you feel like he stops Devin?
I think at that way he would probably outbox Devin, but it would be, it would be, I mean, he's going to try. He'll be trying to put him away. I mean, Devin still has, like I said, great skills, but at 47, I mean, Keyshawn hasn't been up there yet, so I wouldn't pick a stoppage. But I think it would in the moments where I think it would become. I think it would get away from Devin, like because Devin isn't like I said, Jack. Devin has not been fighting the same. since that fight. The Ramirez fight was a stinker. He beat Brian. He beat Brian Norman. He's getting back into the right mindset for it. He getting back into his in the good spirits. But
Do you feel like that was
getting back versus Keyshawn has never his confidence, his belief in himself has never wavered. It has never wavered, and I think that matters.
Okay. Fair to say. Some people feel like, in that fight with Brian Norman, there wasn't a lot of boxing going on. I was talking to Shakur's trainer, Wally Moses. He feels like it was a lot of like holding. Max Kellerman feels like there was a lot of clinching as well. Devin defended himself by saying, hey, there was clinching going on both sides.
Right.
So coming into these type of fights, the Keyshawns, the Shakur Stevensons, that stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys are tacticians in there, like you're saying.
It definitely matters. I mean that's the thing when anytime somebody gets close to Devin, you gonna make a couple moves. If you can't make a couple moves, you're out of the way. He ties up. I mean, there's a time when you do need to stop the action, like when you're in trouble, when you got your bell rung. But that's the tie up is kind of Devin's default. His default move. Makes a couple moves, slide, slide in, tie him up. But like with Keyshawn doesn't throw a bunch of wide punches. You know what I'm saying? He's very like his punches are very to the point. Even when he does throw hooks and uppercuts and shit like that, it's all tight, it's all correct, it's all smooth, it's all it comes with a high level of skill. I think Brian Norman, Brian Norman was he's trying his damnedest to close the distance and get close to Devin, that he made it a little easier for Devin to tie him up and let Devin do his thing. But Devin was hard to hit in that fight, and Brian didn't really have answers for that.
Right. You think if what do you think happens with the rematch with Devin and Ryan?
Shit, I don't really know. I honestly don't even know. Like I said, so thing about Ryan. Ryan looked really good against Mario Barrios, but Mario Barrios is so flat-footed. You know what I mean? I think I told anybody that Ryan's gonna beat him. It's insane to me, like how much people are allowed to. Some people in the sport are just allowed to fall forward, no matter what happens. They end up okay. Just in sense, you had 3 world title opportunities in a row. You missed weight on one of them. You missed weight and tested positive for one of them. You got your ass beat the second one, and then you got it right on the third time. A lot of fighters, if they know they'll get to fight for 3 world title opportunities in a row, most fighters will tell you, I'm nabbing one of them. You know what I mean? And I mean Ryan, like I say, he was able to get Barrios. He won the fight fair and square. But I mean, did he earn the fight? No. He's popular, things like that. Popularity got him that more than his actual merit. Popularity over merit, in that case. But I think Devin is going to take a more responsible, disciplined approach. I always thought that all that little loopy, weird shit that Ryan was doing was all tactics, because I felt like he knew he couldn't beat Devin in a straight up fight. At least at that point, he couldn't beat Devin in a straight up fight. So he had to make it about this weird shit, like the Twitter rants and talking about somebody touched him when he was 2 years old, and I think it's like, if that's the case, if that's really the case, Henry, why are you not in jail right now for doing what you're supposed to do, and for whoever allegedly did that, you know what I mean? But back to boxing. No, it's a Ryan's in a headspace where he's very confident. Devin, like I said, I feel like he's still working his way back, but he's going to take a more disciplined approach. Like, he's got a coach in there. He's got like Mickey Bay is going to, man, look, we're going to tighten these things up. Like, he wasn't. I think, and honestly, I think that's a big important fact. That's an important factor, because he wasn't there for the first fight. He wasn't there for the first fight. came back. They linked back up. They kind of let him take the lead on Devin's preparation, and that's gonna be a big major factor. But if they ever get that rematch, I think we'll see a more disciplined Devin Haney. We'll see a better Devin Haney, and I mean, we'll probably see a better Ryan too. But I mean, I think we'll actually see if, because there's a lot to prove. There's a lot to prove in the sense of Ryan's got to prove that wasn't a fluke, and Devin has to prove it was. So there's belts on the line now, so it has a great narrative to the fight. That, I mean, it pretty much wrote itself. So just let the story finish. Let's finish the story.
Yeah, yeah. When we talk about you saying that Shakur might be too small for Devin. You know, do you feel the same way with Ryan? Do you feel like maybe his skills with Ryan would probably maybe a little bit easier to take chances like that, or kind of leave it more towards like that type of stuff with like a Connor Ben type of a deal, which is guys that don't necessarily have the same type of, assets as these guys at 47, the champs at 47.
Yes, and Shakur or Devin.
Shakur, because
So let
Shakur,
me yeah. So
yep,
let me with Shakur. When I say he might be too small, it's not necessarily in the sense of like Devin's just too big or overpower him. But like you said, Devin likes to hold and control the action and stuff like that. I don't know. Shakur hasn't had to show that he's physically strong enough to have to deal with that. So I don't. So the question to answer, when he does step in, does Devin tie him up, let him go, and get him back and put him back on the outside and put him back in a position where he wants to be, things like that. For Ryan isn't he looked good against
physically
Martin.
strong,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know how physically strong he kind of is. Though. He's a big dude. Or he looks like a big welterweight, but
ain't
I mean,
cracking.
yeah, he's trying. He's throwing a great right hand, but that was against, like I said, a flat-footed Barrios. Mario's a decent. Mario's an okay fighter, but he's so severely, like his feet are his feet are stuck in the mud, and like his feet are stuck in the mud. He's still bouncing around with different coaches and things like that. So you're it was things were set up for Ryan to win. It was the best point to do it. Like he done switched coaches again, and then he's still flat footed, and where Ryan isn't Ryan isn't super skilled. He's just athletic. He's very athletic, and he's gifted. He got a great punch, but I don't think he's like if somebody sits down and says, you know what fighter you need to study? Ryan Garcia. And like, really? No one. You'll never hear anyone say that. So I think with Shakur, that was the thing with Shakur and Teo, where uh, Shakur is just as athletic as Teo or Ryan. And when it comes to Teo, he's more school. He's more well schooled than Teo was. So when the athleticism is on the level, when do you go to next? You go to your skill set. Shakur had a better skill set, a way better skill set. And I think he has a way better skill set than Ryan. Size is not on his side, uh, but even still, like I said, he's hard to nail down. Like, I sparred Shakur before. I did touch him, but I didn't just touch him as regularly as I wanted to. You know what I mean? But he knows where he is in the ring at all the time. So it's hard to pick against Shakur against with anybody. Like even when it goes back to Devin, Shakur's confidence has never been shaken or wavered. He hasn't taken a bludgeoning the way Devin is taking a bludgeoning, and I keep bringing it up just because it happened. Whether it was moved to a no contest, whether it was PEDs or not, the damage, like I said, the damage has been done, and it can't be undone.
Yeah, and it's stuck with them mentally too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big factor. You know, you sparring Shakur and Tank, is that the fight that you want to see as well at 135, 140, whatever?
If man, when if it gets announced, it gets announced. So man, I'm at a point now where it's just like tanks in the wind, and I don't. Yeah, if it happens, it happens, man. I don't. At this point, I haven't given much. I haven't given much thought to it these days. Just like Like, you know,
You think it's far? You think it's far fetched right now?
it seems far fetched. It seems far fetched. You know what I mean? I don't even like talking about it no more because it's like, bro, I don't know. It's not. They've been talking about it for that's another fight they've been talking about for years. That's been on for about 5 years now, right? Like we got to do something about this. We got to shorten this weight game a little bit at all divisions. We got to shorten these weight divisions. I mean these weight periods. Now I say this like I mean it happens. It's business. It's boxing. I mean Holyfield chased Tyson for 3 years. You know, Ray and Durant, all them, they didn't all fight each other in the same year. They fought each other in a certain span or whatnot, but nothing's shaken at this point now. Like we got Shakur and Tio, we did get that one. I knew that you know that's and that one. All these took some time. Like I said, they were all at 35. They were supposed to be the four kings, and none of the Baptists was fighting each other. They fought. Now we've had Devin and Ryan fight. We've had Shakur and Tio fight. I mean, things just happening, but I mean, like Tanks. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on what his current situation is right now, man. Just pray for him.
I hear that he might be coming back in June and possibly fighting Pitbull Cruz.
Oh yeah, I did hear that. I didn't know how. Like I said, I saw that on Twitter. I didn't know how true that might have been. So I just wait. But me, I wait until I see like if it comes across ESPN. Normally, all right, it might be a go now. But like because people send me stuff, I'm like, that guy's a troll. That guy's an asshole. That guy doesn't. Yeah. So I don't. You know what I mean? If it don't come from Mill City, I don't give it. I don't even give it no attention.
Yeah, that fight hasn't been announced. The only person that put it out there was Mike Carpenter. He said
Yeah.
something, and then people started talking about it. Oh, and then obviously Tank himself. You know, Tank obviously put it on I think it's TikTok. No, his Twitter. Yeah, he put it on his Twitter saying that when he comes back, he wanted Pitbull Cruz.
Pitbull Cruz. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. He's still the money guy, man. He's still the cash cow. He gets to make those demands. So yeah, go for it.
Do
I
you,
just want the motherfucker. I just want my man to stay out of trouble. That's just what I want. Just stay out of trouble. The only time you're not in trouble is when you're in the ring. Then get him in the ring as much as you can.
yeah. No, I hear you on that. It's a shame. It's definitely a shame. Now, as far as Ryan is concerned, right?
Uh-huh.
Say obviously Devin fights Rolly in May.
Yeah.
I was talking. Well, I can't say who I was talking to, but Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia.
Oh yeah.
Possibilities. Those are very high possibilities. And when Ryan when Teo said that he wanted to move up to 47, you know, there's a reason why he said it. Because there's something for him at 47.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a
It's definitely
title and
money.
some money, and probably the biggest fight of Teal's life really would be Ryan Garcia. I mean, I think. Do you think that supersedes the Shakur fight? A
The
Ryan Garcia fight for Teal?
I mean, as far as money, yeah, I think as far as money it does. But
Stardom and everything, and the
yeah, as far as money, I mean, there's gonna be a lot more attention around it just because these dudes, those dudes are clowns. Uh, but then people they know, but they know how to garner attention. I can make credit. They know how to garner attention, so it's gonna be like it's gonna be it'll probably like I said, it'll be a bigger event because Ryan's getting into streaming and he's bringing that audience over here and things like that. Uh, To is To, but and they both can punch a bit. So I think the press conferences will be wild and weird and wacky. And I mean, if wild, weird, and wacky puts asses in seats, yeah, go for it, go do it. And there's a betting line, like you said, there's a betting line. If you can get Ryan Till for the WBC, yeah, pull up.
yeah, I don't know Ryan Garcia's team, they're waiting though. They're waiting to see what's the best fight next. I
Yeah.
wonder. I wonder if they're gonna fight Pacquiao.
Is Pacquiao still chopped? Pacquiao about to do another one? I didn't even know that.
I don't know. Henry told me something about Pacquiao. And I'm trying to figure out what would supersede a Teofimo Lopez fight. Because I still think that
Pacquiao, every time Pacquiao comes back, Pacquiao is going to supersede anything that's happening. If he gets,
and then
especially
you
if he
fight
gets one of
Teo
those guys.
after.
If he gets one of those dudes, it's always going to be a case. He's always going to supersede.
Yeah, for sure. Who do you think would win that fight though, Teo or Ryan?
I don't know. I honestly don't even know. Maybe they go to 40. I give it to Ryan. I give it to Ryan off of him being back. He's just won his first world title. They were to fight next. He had just won his world title. He's just in. His confidence is gonna be through the roof. And I mean Teo. He probably. I don't know. I think because Ryan's taller too. I think he'll have the same trouble closing the distance the way he had trouble closing the distance with Shakur. It won't be as it won't look as pretty as Shakur, but Ryan will step back, probably throw the right hand, pull the big hook, and try to catch him one of those. So I go with Ryan.
You go with Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a serious joint right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Ryan's quick, explosive, and Teal's fought at a high level, even though you know what I mean. He didn't have a good outing with Shakur. So you think the momentum?
Yeah, momentum. The momentum will play a factor. I mean, like that. It depends on what kind of fights are you coming off of. Like Teo, does he still have that confidence? Is it just like man, it was Shakur, nobody beat Shakur, or is it I mean we've seen him have his little mental lapses. Do I still got it? All that shit. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen all that before. So I mean, even when Ryan lost, he took it on the chin, cried it out, took it on the chin, and then got back to it.
And that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Listen, what's the next thing up for you?
Shit, I don't know yet. Just getting back. Like I said, just came off fighting Ray Robinson. Went straight to camp. It's crazy. I'm ready to fight now because I feel good. I done did a lot of sparring this first quarter of the year, getting ready for my fight, sparring Thurman, but I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place. I wouldn't mind fighting sooner than later, but I'm waiting to hear from Tony Jetta, my promoter, see what comes about.
I texted you one time, and because I was listening to all these Zuffa deals coming out, and I asked you a question. I said, what you think about yourself, going to Zuffa, and you said, I don't know, because I'm still chasing that world title.
Yeah.
Um, you know, tell me, as far as world title is concerned, what's the highest ranking you're at as far as organization, and then, do you still feel that way?
As I talk to different people, I know some people that sign with you. I would talk to them. I would want to get the real uh ins and outs of it. But like I said, like I told you, I'm not turning down any. If there's a good offer on the table, I'm probably not going to turn it down. So I mean, um, I know some people that are with Zuffa and
You
like
got
fighters with
Hackett
Zuffa.
there, your boy Hackett there.
Yeah. So I mean, I would pick his brain about it. Just like, man, what you feeling like over there? Like because him and his father, they've been around boxing a long time. I trust in their input about what's shaking over there. I trust in their input about what's shaking over there a lot. He's from the area we came up. We sparred a lot, and I mean, Bernard Haggard has his has he knows a great deal about the sport. Him and Jalil know a great deal about the sport. So I would just see like, man, what made y'all put pen to paper? And then if they, they give me something here good I want to hear, I'd be like, maybe we'll see. You know what I mean? I like, if I fight and if I fight and it pays, I'm happy.
The most money they ever seen, they told me.
Oh, word.
Yep.
Oh, see, that now they're talking my language. But like I said, I would really pick their brain about it. I know, and I know they'll break it down. They'll break it down with us. Like me and my dad sit down with them. I know they'll break down everything. But Bernard and Angela are very transparent, and then they're good friends.
I love it, man. Well, let everybody know where they can find you, Mike. This was definitely a great segment. I really appreciate your time as always as well.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me first and foremost, and shout out to everybody that tuned in. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Professor Mike, Mike with a Y, MYKE. I'm gonna be chopping it up. Oh, tune in Saturday for Fundora Thurman. We're gonna see what we're gonna see if all that hard work pays off.
Right. Well, stay tuned for this next interview, guys. Really appreciate your time, brother.
Appreciate you, my man.
You got it, my man. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys follow my man Michael Fox. I'm gonna be getting another fighter on here.
Come on, let them, baby. You notice any? Go Bob with you guys. Wondering, possible, maybe it's drinking. What are you talking about? Can't hear you. The other night. Nah, I can't hear you. Her about that, but she was. Yeah, nah, I can't hear you right now. When you're trying to act like you're not. And I know that things have been really stressful with her hand and looking for a job and all that. Did you know that my mom and I lived in a car for a week when I was in Cisco? I had stuff to see the restaurant. Did you speak to the doctor? Trust me. You're not working. He was jazz club guys from the old days. My mom was drinking. I saw how.
Y'all can hear me? You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, G.
Oh, word. You can hear me? Can everyone hear me now? What's going on? What's going on, my guy? How are you, Kevo?
I'm good, bro. Yeah, I can hear you. It's like light. It's low, but I can hear you a little bit.
You can hear me a little bit?
Yeah.
Congratulations on your win in Belfast, man.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, my guy.
Listen, man, we had loud and clear. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. We got over 100 people on the live. We just had my man Michael Fox, and now we got Kevin Walsh, new WBC international title at 126 pounds. Went to Belfast, Ireland. If you guys didn't see it, check it out on the Zone. It happened on Friday. Um, Talk to me, man. You got it. You got the belt now. You brought it back to Brockton, man. Talk to me, man. Like, what's going on with you, bro?
My guy, feeling good, bro. Yeah, it's just another night in the office, man. I got the job done against the motherfucking legend. You know what I'm saying? Mick Conlon, man, fucking one of my, you know what I'm saying? I looked up to this man at one point in my career. Obviously, he's in my weight class, and I knew he was on the table. So of course I took that opportunity, grabbed it with both hands, my man, and I took that, got that win, man. Got that win. Beautiful, amazing, man. Dream come true, in a way. But now I gotta keep going, man. This is just like the beginning of my, beginning. It's just the beginning still.
I was checking out some of your interviews, and you said you learned some things in there. You want to talk about some of the things that you learned in there?
I learned a lot, man. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to
Just
me. Come on,
Mix
man. This
mix
is
a
good.
veteran. You know what I'm saying? Mix a veteran, nasty, fucking when we was like small things, you know what I'm saying? Small things. When we was getting into the clinch, small little clinches, he was
I
grabbing me
Jamie's.
with he was grabbing me with his little, you know what I'm saying, little fingers, fucking with the gloves, like being nasty with it. You know what I'm saying? He was getting frustrated because he really couldn't hit me as much as he wanted to hit me. You know what I'm saying? So he was getting a little nasty in there, small points in the fight, you know what I'm saying? So I just learned a lot, man, including you know what I'm saying, obviously big confidence boost to myself, even though, people talking shit saying Mick was on his way out, this, that, and the third. But you know what I'm saying, all that criticism is gonna come with it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting it all. It is what it is. You know me, Mills. I'm very humble. So I was just blessed to have the opportunity, and I got the win, man. Yeah, I didn't beat his ass. I didn't knock him out, but I got that win clear as day. I definitely won. Big underdog. Went across the pond, man, fucking to Ireland and got the job done, man.
I think what was it, 1100 minus 1100 underdog?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to that betting shit, but yeah, big underdog.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So at the end of the fight, he says that he feels like he won the fight, but in the same time, he decided to want to retire because he feel like he did that type of performance wasn't world level.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to his comments?
Well, he knows I won the fight. Yeah, of course he's gonna say that because he might be a little embarrassed or something like that because, I'm a fighter that's really wasn't known in the world, so I don't know what to call it, but he knows I won the fight. You know what I'm saying that's why he's not going to the extreme with it. I mean, he knows I won the fight. I know I won the fight. Like I said, I didn't get to knock him out, but I definitely won that fight. Real boxers know that. Real fighters know that. It was a close fight, but I got the job done, and I kind of made that shit look easy. It was kind of, in my sense of direction, it was easy to me in a way. Yeah, I didn't get to knock him out, but I won that fight, man, easily.
Did you
I
were
was
able to
having
watch
fun
it?
out there, fucking enjoying it, embracing it. It was just, it was amazing, man. And it put me on a certain pedestal too, because I'm ready for whoever now. It is what it is, man.
Were you able to see the fight over?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I watched it.
Now you got to hear the commentary, broadcast. Definitely
Yeah,
wasn't
all
on your
calling
favor.
people. They're all calling boys. You know what I'm saying they're all those guys, those UK guys. You know what I'm saying so it's expected, brother. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a huge underdog, in life. So on to the next, man. It is what it is. It was a blessing to be able to share the fucking ring with Mick Conlon. Watching myself again on TV today. I'm in awe, man. But beautiful situation. On to the next.
People in the comments said, "Hey, I thought they would rob you out there." What's your thoughts
Yeah,
on that? I mean, you and I talked about this the fight, the day of the fight, right? We talked
yeah.
about What do you feel like? Anything close doesn't go your way, did though.
Right. Of course, that's why, I wanted to go out there and knock him out. I definitely wanted to get that knockout, but Mick, man, he just because he's old, man. I don't know. He stood on 10 toes with me, man. But he felt my power. He felt my aggression in the first, 2 rounds, and that's why he stayed back. After that, I felt like he stayed back. He was very hesitant. He didn't want to get hit with anything too clean from me, so he stayed back. But and them championship rounds came through. I definitely put on a great performance for myself and just kind of put the nail in the coffin. I feel like 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. I stepped it up a little bit. I figured him out. And yeah, man, I just turned it up a little bit. And yeah, I got it done. But yeah, it was a close fight for sure.
Broadcasts were, constantly talking about like your corner yelling at you to make sure you let your hands go, talking about, oh, Jimmy Birchfield got up into the corner, talked to you, said something. What did he say?
Yeah, my corner was kind of yelling at me like during the fight, like saying like you gotta like come on, you gotta do something, Kev. You gotta do something. You gotta knock him out. Fucking you gotta press it. You gotta press it. But yo, real rap, I kept going back to the corner like I got that round. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's different when I understand. My corners where they were coming from. I'm going to Mick Conlin's fucking backyard, and it was a close fight. You know what I'm saying? So, and they're down low. They're not the ones in the ring, respectfully. But real fighters know, like, when you're in that ring, you know what time it is. I was in that ring with Mick Conlon and fucking, I was winning pretty much. I mean, he might have won 2 rounds maybe during that fight, maybe 2 rounds, but other than that, I was controlling the whole fight. Yeah, he was, even the times where I was on my back foot, I was still controlling the fight. I was comfortable out there. Big underdog, and I did my thing, man. Very proud of myself. My head movement was on point. My feints was on point. I definitely could have done a better job and closed the show, but it is what it is. I did what I had to do to win that fight, man. I played it safe myself. I wasn't trying to rush into anything, and get myself fucking caught up with anything stupid. So I did what I had to win the fight, man. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Your punch output was probably lower than most of your other fights. Tell
Yeah.
me, why was that? Yeah, why was that?
I don't know, because Mick Conlon's he's a talented fighter, man. Now, if you go back and you look at the punch stats, I was throwing more punches.
Than him, yeah.
Going into I think it was even going into the 6th round, going into the later rounds, I threw more punches. I landed more punches. I think he really landed a couple more power punches. They said going into the 6th round, but I landed more jabs. I was throwing more punches. And then 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, I turned it up even more. And it was a beautiful fucking beautiful experience. Yeah, man. What more can I say?
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it was you took it to Boston, you took it to Brockton. I mean, that's huge, and you got a lot of promotion out of that on the zone. I mean, you checked it out.
Yeah.
They tagged you and
Yeah.
collabed with you in so many clips. I mean, for the people that don't know, I just want to, for people that are watching right now and trying to figure out what are we talking about, what fight are we talking about. It was this fight, my man, retired Nick Conlon. I mean, I'm sorry, Michael Conlon. Um, and this is my guy right here. And this is what he said at the end of the fight.
Fight. Yeah. That's what they said. Yeah. You've won. Yeah. Do you want that? Shoot, shoot. Shoot, shoot. There's the camera.
Oh, my phone died. Let me get the other one. My bad.
Shoot,
Let's get
shoot.
back.
Where you
Let's
at?
let's get back to it.
Yeah, man.
Let's get back to it. But now, talk to me, man. So how long have you been back home?
Um, I've been home since yesterday, bro. Yeah, since yesterday. Pulled up yesterday. Morning
Okay.
after the fight, I flew out.
About to just get the clip so people can check it out. So
Yeah,
they could put face. They were like, wait a minute, that's the guy that fought this Friday. Hold on. There
yeah,
he
yo.
is.
Every fight is different. You
Fight.
know what I'm saying? You
That's
know
what they
that,
said.
Mills.
You've won. Do you want that fight? Shoot you. Shoot you. Where's the camera? Where you at, baby? Let's go. You're a fighter. But it's my
Where
turn,
you
baby.
at?
Go.
So Shushu puts on his story. He shows that little segment and he's giggling, he's
Oh,
laughing. You can
yeah.
hear
What you
me?
say?
So Shushu on his story, he's seen the call out. He put it on his story. Didn't know if he checked it out. He started giggling, laughing.
Yeah,
But in the same time, I'm watching the fight, and me and him are, we're messaging each other back and forth because
yeah,
I'm like, listen, man, this could be the guy that you could be fighting if
yeah,
you don't unify with anybody in the titles. He's undefeated, and we're talking back and forth, talking about the fights, and you know, he said that, and then even what you call it, your boy Frampton, he said
yeah. Carl
Shushu's good.
Frampton.
He said Shushu's gonna be licking his chops. I asked Shushu, is that true? And he says, yeah.
Yeah,
He's giggling on the story as well for the little call out.
yeah.
Talk to me. I mean, lots of respect with the, you're a great
Of
fighter. He's like, you're a
course,
great
dog.
fighter. But it's not, yo,
He said, "Talk to me, talk to me."
yeah.
Yeah, bro. You know me. I want all the champions, brother. It's that time of my career, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shushu's he's a beast, hell of a fighter. You know, he's on another level. And so is Mick Conlon, you know what I'm saying? Espinoza, Nick Ball. Who else we got? Nick Ball just lost to Figueroa. I want all the champions, man. I want all the champions in my division. Obviously, Dazin and those guys with the WBC. Um, Obviously, that fight in particular, Walsh versus Conlon. Conlon was scheduled to fight Shushu next, most likely for the world title. So I just beat him. So of course, like they were fucking asking me if I wanted to fight Shushu next. If I got that opportunity, of course I would want that. I would love that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. I already said though I want all the world title holders in my division. Um, Leo Santa Cruz, Figueroa, Espinoza. Who else is over there in the 126 division?
Louis Nori.
Whatever, yeah, whoever it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I want the top dogs. I feel like I'm there, man. I've been putting in work for years. I'm 20-0 now. You know what I'm saying? Shushu's 17-0. Yeah, they say he's on another pedal still. They say he will work me, whatever. So they said that about Conlon too. So it is what it is, man. Respectfully, I want that opportunity if I could get it. And yeah, man, I'm trying to feed the family. You know what time it is.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, why would people feel like you're capable for this type of a task, not just for feeding your family and getting the check?
What do you mean? Say it again.
Why would people feel like you're capable for this type of a task, this type of a step up,
Um,
and not just
well,
coming in here for the check like some of these other guys?
yeah, I mean, I'm a dog, man. It is what it is. People in the boxing world that really know boxing know that I'm a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? Not to be fucked with. I am a beast. So it is what it is, man. A lot of people is sleeping on me, but just give me that shot. Give me that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I've been begging for it. So and I just beat Mick Conlon. So I mean, yeah, he's getting old, but he was a former Olympian. Um, he's a legend, man. I just retired a legend. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna stay humble though, and wait my turn, man. Shushu knows, I don't have a big name like that, but it is what it is, man. Give me that opportunity. I'm a hungry dog, hungry lion, just like he was at one time. You know what I'm saying? So it's only fair, man. You give me that dance.
When you say, yo, I'm that dog, and people that know boxing, that, I'm that dog, people will say, yeah, you know, with who though? with who? Because when you stepped up with Michael Conlon, we didn't see that dog. Do you feel like people would want to constantly, probably give you that opportunity because
Yeah,
of
nah,
that
I don't
performance?
really, I don't really think that everyone would say that. I think some people that favor Mick Conlon, that like fans of Mick Conlon, they might say that they didn't see that dog, but you did still see a dog in that fight. You know what I'm saying? You did still see a dog in that fight. I was coming at him. I was controlling the fight most of the fight. It was a strategic fight. I had to be careful. I didn't throw as much, as many crazy punches as I usually do. But fighting, boxing. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Look at Shakur Stevenson. Everybody got something to say, man. You know what I'm saying? When it's not crazy, bloody, or whatever. But I wasn't bleeding at all, man. And fucking, I made this man bleed from his head, from his nose, fucking stitches on the eye, from that left hook, man. Like I got the job done beautifully, safe and sound. I feel amazing. I could have won another 12 rounds after. I could go 12 rounds today. Um, Man, so it is
So
what it is, man.
do you feel like you should have put more hands on him then?
Yeah, of
Because of
course.
that, you know what I mean? Because like,
Absolutely.
you got like the Irish crowd. They love that blood. They love the war. They love the promo that you guys brought into the fight, right? But then when
Yeah.
you go in there, did it sell? Did it? Was it? Did the people get their money's worth? Do you feel like the way it was promoted
My
was the way?
people, my people got their money's worth.
Oh yeah,
You feel
yeah.
me? So
I
I
like
don't
that
really
one.
care about the Colin fans. My people, my whole city was on fire. My whole fucking city was on fire, Millsy. You know that. You
Yo,
know what
yo,
I'm
yo.
saying? So
Speaking of that, when the
my
walk
people
in,
got their money's worth. You know what I'm
the
saying?
walk in
Mick
though.
Collins people, hell no, they didn't get their money's worth. You know what I'm saying? I retired the man, so I don't think they got their money's worth. Nah, they were probably unhappy with his performance as well. I mean, I don't. Were you happy with his performance?
With Collins, no, it was
Yeah,
horrible. I mean,
nah,
I think that he just showed up and didn't. He didn't
yeah,
show up. That's what I felt like.
of
That was
course,
the worst.
but
That people are saying that that was the worst performance he's had.
but look who he was in front of though. The guy that he's in front of will make him look a certain way. So put me in there with anybody else of the top dogs, and I'm gonna make them look a certain way too. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best fighters in the world have boring fights. You know that, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? Just another example, man, of last night of Friday night. You know what I'm saying? It was a boring fight, but it was technical. It was you know what I'm saying? It was strategics. It was boxing. It is what it is. It's not always gonna be fucking crazy havoc. You know what I'm saying? I was safe. I was good in there, and I made him. He was leaking like a sieve. So
Listen, the headbutt. Do you feel like that was critical? And that was another thing people were saying was like,
yeah,
wow,
that was definitely critical. First round, I think he was a little aggravated, agitated. What's the word I'm looking for? He was getting frustrated. Yeah, he was getting frustrated, and we were in the clinch. I think he kind of purposely tried to give me a little headbutt. You know what I'm saying? Another fucking another OG tactic. You know what I'm saying? Some with
AKA dirty
experience. You know what I'm
tactic.
saying? He tried to get a little dirty and give me a little headbutt, but that bounced right back on him. He realized that I had a harder head than him. You know what I'm saying? Because he ended up being the man leaking in that situation. And yeah, and all the above, man. You know what I'm saying? So that bounced back on him. He was leaking in the first round. I'm like, all right, word, he's already leaking. Now all I gotta do is keep the pressure on him, punch him, even if he's got his hands up. I'll fucking punch at them gloves, put his gloves into his face, cause that to keep bleeding. And that's what I did, man. Throwing left hooks. I caught him with the left hook to the eye, split his shit. Straight left hook, straight right hand down the pipe. Caught him a few times. Especially later in the fight. Yeah, man, it was good. It was definitely good that he was leaking. Helped out for sure.
His promoter had a lot to say at the end. They were saying, what are these judges? Where do they come from? Where do they get these scorecards? Did you check that out?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. That's what they're gonna say. I'm saying, of course, that's what they're gonna say. It is what it is. Conlon knows what time it is. That's why he's retiring.
Yeah, and when people say that's not the best performance, well, I was hearing that there was a rematch clause for the situation as well for
Is
the
that what you
belt.
was hearing?
That's what I heard on
Yeah. That's
one of the
why.
interviews.
That's why you don't listen to everything you hear.
There was no rematch.
Nah,
No,
nah.
nothing.
No
'Cause-
rematch clause, my guy.
Oh wow.
Otherwise, Conlon wouldn't have said he retired, but he probably would have been like,
Well,
"Let's get."
maybe they're thinking they have the money to get you to go over there, type of deal. But they didn't. If there's no rematch, there's no rematch. I mean, I don't
There's
know
no
why they would
rematch
say
clause
that.
in there. No.
I don't know why they said that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Um, yeah, very biased commentary, one sided commentary for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Now, in the same time, me, Bruce and I, that's my boy. So Bruce and I, we're sharing conversations, and I was talking about what you think about the fight, because
Yeah.
I'm already setting up interviews ready to go because I work quick, right? So he feels like you play around too much
Yeah,
in
of
the ring.
course.
He said you play around too much. He feels like, he would have knocked out you and Conley respectfully.
Yeah, of course he's gonna say that. Of course he's gonna say that. And I feel like I'll knock Boots out. You know what I'm saying? Not Boots, Shoo Shoo.
Shoo
Boot,
shoo.
not Boots, Shoo Shoo. You know what I'm saying?
Different
Yeah, I feel
shoe,
like I'll
different
knock Shoo
shoe.
Shoo out. So it is what it is. Of course he's gonna say that.
So
What's
you
he
feel
gonna
like you'll
say?
knock? You feel like you really knock out Shushu?
Yeah, bro. Of course I do. I feel like I'll knock out any man that steps in front of me. That's how I'm supposed to feel. And that's how Shoo Shoo's supposed to feel. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, these are his opinions. You feel
Yeah.
me?
And
These are
then, and
his
then it's my
opinion.
opinion. It is what it is.
You know,
Respectfully. Respectfully. I don't think Shoo Shoo ever shared the ring with Conlon. Period. I don't think they ever sparred anything, have they?
no, I don't think so.
Nah, right?
No, 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 no.
Nah, exactly. Exactly. So he could all it is this. He talk. So until you share the ring with the man, you don't know what they really about. Looks is deceiving, especially on TV. So he can talk all that shit. They can talk all that shit, but we'll see what time it is when we get in the ring.
Now, I'll tell you one thing. Shushu's a really good commentator, right? And he breaks down things very well.
Yeah,
Now, in that same time, in that same sentence, he says that you could have knocked Conlon out any time you wanted. So you see, he gives that balance. He'll tell you you're playing around, but he also will tell you that you had chances to knock him out. That's respect.
absolutely.
That's a
I
good
had chances,
commentating. That's good commentating. You know what I'm saying?
of course. I had chances to knock him out. He had chances to knock me out.
Did he?
It probably.
No.
Probably. It is
Did
what
were
it
you
is. The
hurt?
fight could have
Were
went
you hurt?
the f- the fight could have went either way at any given time, bro. It was a close fight. Obviously, I did what I had to do to win. I went into his backyard and I got the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Do you
Was
feel
no
like you
draw. It
there
was a
was
clear win.
because as a fan they're looking at it as, wait a minute,
I don't play with
when
my
you
food.
yeah,
I
but
don't play with my food.
when you're letting your hands go, he's stagnant. He's stagnant and he's trying to like take these punches that you're giving him, right? He's not throwing nothing back, Walsh. He's trying to just not trying to get knocked out. You know what I mean? So when someone sees that, like a guy like Shushu, they're like, wait a minute, you could have knocked his ass out like 4 times in the fight,
Yeah,
type of deal.
of course he's gonna say that. People that don't box could have said that too, bro. People that don't never box a day in their life would say that too. Oh, I would have done this. I would have done that.
No,
Bro,
he's saying that you could have.
yeah, yeah. They can say whatever they're gonna say. They can say what it's different when you're in that ring yourself, my man.
Mhm.
You know that. I mean, real fighters know that. You could have done this, you could have done that. It was a strategical fight on my end. I usually go in there to kill, to knock motherfuckers out. Everybody knows that. And I still did. If I could have, I would have. You know what I'm saying? But I had to be smart also. I didn't want to walk in, throw anything crazy, and walk into anything. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to bait me in and counter me as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah. So You was looking out for that. You was making sure you was now his punching power is real. Is that what it is?
Who, Conlon?
Yeah.
He has some decent punching power. I'm not saying I mean I really didn't get hit with anything thing too crazy
Right.
because of my head movement. But yeah, I mean he's got some pop, man. He's got some pop for sure. Big respect to Conlon.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Where do you feel like now, like, as far as that stage, how was that? I mean, I know that had to be completely different.
Yeah,
Out of,
but
but it
see,
was not out your comfort zone, that's for sure.
see, brother, like that's what Conlon was trying to say before the fight. Like, oh, Kev, like you never been on this type of stage. Um, you never been on. There's gaps of level experience between us. Um, bro, it's just like Mohegan Sun, dog. Like going out there is the same thing as Mohegan Sun. I've been so when he told me before the fight, like, oh, this is different. This is different.
But
Like
every chair was filled in the house, right?
Um,
Or was
not
it?
really. Nah,
No.
I think his fan base kind of dying down a little along the way as well. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh,
mean, yeah, the house was packed for sure, but it wasn't as crazy as I expected.
what they okay.
My heart was definitely racing before the fight, but once I got to walk out, just like every other fight, man, those nerves go away and fucking I feel like a god, man. I felt unbelievable walking out. It was amazing, man. It was amazing. It was beautiful and
Did you
you know what
did
I'm
you choose
saying?
your walkout song?
Of course I did.
I was like,
Let's
yo, that
get
shit.
down, let's get down to
I was like,
business.
my man's bouncing. He's bouncing in the
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Let's get down to business. You
I
already
was like,
know,
my
man.
boy
That
bouncing,
I
yo.
had those Irish guys, those Irish fans, they like that techno shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
I had to
yeah.
I had to put that on for them too, and it was business. It was a business trip for me, so it just it made perfect sense, yo. And I didn't find that I didn't know I was gonna do that walkout song until I was in my hotel the night before, or like a few nights before, and some Irish lady. She came up to me. She was a big fan. Her and her husband. We were just talking, kicking it, and she just started. She looked at me and she started singing. She started singing that song. Let's get down a bit. I was like, you know what? That's the one right there. That's the one, dog. So yeah, man. Everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And that was the one, man. That shit was fire.
That's fly, man. That's fly. What did you do after the fight?
After the fight, I just went back to my telly, man, relaxed. All the people, whole bunch of people were at my hotel already waiting for me. Yeah, it was popping. It was lit, man. I gained a lot of fans that night out in Ireland.
Right. I was thinking that too. I was like, you're Irish. He's Irish. He just retired. Now walking in, they were booing you, right? Like when you went into and
Yeah,
then and then when he came in, this shit started roaring.
yeah,
How did
yeah,
you feel? Because you're waiting in the ring.
yeah.
That shit pumped you or not?
Yeah, hell
That
yeah,
shit
bro.
pumped
It
you,
was
right?
like that shit pumped me up, bro. Like
I figured.
I'm no hater, bro. And I know that I'm in Colin's territory. I know, you know what I'm saying? I know not to let that shit get to me. I let that shit fuel me up, brother. I love that shit, bro. I was like, hell yeah. He came out to the Tupac song or some shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he was trying to intimidate me or whatever it was, but that shit ain't gonna work with me. But that shit was lit. That shit was lit. I was going with the vibe. You know what I'm saying? He had a dope walkout. I was watching it, respecting it, because I knew at the end of the day, I already saw this coming. This was his last dance. So I was enjoying it. I was embracing it. He's a legend. And it was an amazing, amazing night, man. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed his walkout just as much as I enjoyed mine, and just as much as he enjoyed his. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope, man. It was fire.
Tell me, how many people do you feel like will show up from Boston to go to New York City to see you in Shoo Shoo Rumble?
Thousands, man, thousands. We get thousands of people over there. We'll sell that bitch out. That'd be fucking crazy. I had 100, like almost 100 people out there. You know what I'm saying, from Brockton, that flew all the way out there. Never mind the people from all around the world. You know what I'm saying, fans that I had just, you know what I'm saying, out in the UK that came. It was lit for me.
Shit, and that's a pretty ticket to go to Ireland too. That's
Yeah,
loyal supporters right there.
yeah, definitely, man. I gained a lot of fans that night, for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Um, you did an interview at the end of the fight. I do my research. You said, "I hope that Shushu don't duck me." Talk to me about that statement. Um, how do you? I mean, why do you feel that way? I mean, obviously, Colin was what, ranked number 9. I know that you were saying that if he
I'm
won
just, I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge name. I mean, yeah, I just beat Conlon, but I
20 and
mean,
0,
what's that?
20 and 0, 10 knockouts.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not a huge name though, so I hope he gives me that opportunity. I hope all the champs out there eventually give me that opportunity, rightfully, respectfully. It's
Yeah.
not like I've been fighting a whole bunch of bums. I've been fighting good opposition. Just because Ricky De Los Santos is from my way, Tremaine Williams is from my way, Irvin Gonzalez, all those guys are from my way. Don't mean they ain't good fighters. And Mick Conlon was just another huge step up in my career. So I beat him, and I know I got to beat guys like Mick Collins to get to the next level. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a respectable name. It's an Olympian at the end of the day, and then you had to go to
Yeah,
his backyard to do it too. So
exactly.
that's where the more impressive really comes from, is that really at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, you tell me, what would be your message to Shushu?
I'm ready for war, man. Let's get it. Whenever you can give me that opportunity, I'm right here, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Humbly, respectfully.
How do you feel like the fight will play out? You two.
Shit, man. It could go either way. Decision or a knockout. I'm
Yeah.
only getting better, man. I'm only getting better, Mills. So the world's gonna keep on hating on me, bro. It is what it is. World's gonna keep on hating on me, saying, Shushu's on another level. He'll wipe me down. It is what it is, man. They said the same thing about Conlon. They said the same thing about Tremaine Williams. And look what happened, man. You know what I'm saying? I rise to the occasion. The better the opposition, I feel like the better I get, the sharper I get. And yeah, it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, I feel like I deserve a big payday now. So yeah, that's what time it is. That's where my head's at. You know what I'm saying?
This had to be at least your biggest, right? Going to Ireland, it had to be.
Yeah, it was decent, but this was just a gate opener.
Right,
Now it's
100,
now it's time to get that real bread. You know what I'm saying?
100%, 100%.
Now it's time to get that real bread. I ain't settling for that type of money again.
He said, I ain't doing that again. He didn't even
Fucks
crack a
no.
smile.
Fucks no.
No way, right? I see you. I see.
Fucks no. Yeah, we settled. I settled, you know what I'm saying? Cause it was a great opportunity, you know what I'm saying? But now it's my time. Now it's time to get that money.
They asked you in the ring interview, you know, what do you think about Shushu? You said, he's fast, he's slick. But how much of a different jump do you think that is from Michael Conlon?
Different styles, my brother. Styles make fights.
Hmm.
Shushu got a different style than Conlon. I feel like Conlon's more on the a little bit more defensive. He stays back a little and tries to counter a little more. I know Shushu's a good counter puncher as well, but Shushu's the type of guy that'll also stand in front of you and try to bang with you a little bit more than what Conlon wanted to do with me.
You
So
seen his
Shushu's,
knockout?
what's that?
You seen his knockout?
Who's Shushu's?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Did you see Conlon's knockouts?
I seen some of I seen what, like he has
And what?
9. I think he's seen like a couple, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
he got
talking about
some
the
good
last one.
knockouts, but but they're gonna. But what are you gonna say about that? They was just weak opposition or something like that. Like it don't
Well,
matter, bro. That shit don't matter, dog. Fucking um, Shushu's
Carlos Castro's
the
Carlos
guys that
Castro's
Shushu's
proven.
knocked out weren't that crazy either, bro. You know who was it?
Carlos
Castro.
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 Yeah.
That was the only. Who else? Who else was a great fighter that Shushu knocked out?
No, he hasn't had the great names. He
Exactly,
hasn't had the
exactly.
great names.
So you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Styles make fights. Shushu will be right in front of me. I feel like he'll take more chances than what Conlon took. But you don't
100%.
know. You don't
100%.
know until you get in the ring with me, brother.
Yeah.
These hands are made of fucking, and you know what I'm saying? I punch like a mule, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I got different type of power, brother. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know until you get in the ring with me. So people are gonna talk and say whatever they want to say, but they don't know until they get in the ring with me. Michael Conlon felt my power right away. That's why he stayed back, and that's why people are talking shit, saying that it wasn't his greatest performance because he knew he had to stay back. He knew he had to watch out for my power. And that's exactly what he did as well. But at the end of the day, I still outboxed him because I knew he was staying away from me.
Do you feel like he's a shot fighter?
Conlon,
Yeah.
um,
Remember I
I'm
talked to you
not really
before the
sure, man.
remember when I talked to you before the fight and I
I'm not
said
really
his soul
sure.
was
I got it.
broken a couple times already?
Yeah, nah. I don't really feel like he shot like that. I gotta get in now. I gotta get in the ring with Shushu and with all them guys, and we'll see what happens.
Mhm. Mhm. This is good, man. Definitely happy for you, bro. Like just to see you in that stage, just to see anybody, from the area to be on that stage is just so dope to see. But it was a main event and you ended up taking it home. Congratulations once again, man.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you, my brother. You already know, bro. Appreciate you, dog. Big, huge underdog in life, man. In the boxing ring when it comes to these big fights. Um, and I'll keep being an underdog. And I love it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna rise to the occasion every trip.
Yeah, they were talking about like, you know, you rise into the occasion on the club shows and stuff. But it's quite amazing, right? How Ireland treats boxing, huh? This guy's that wasn't even like a world title type of a fight, and the way that they salute their
Yeah.
Olympians and the way they medal, it's just as much as how we treat our world champions.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. They treat us boxers like royalty, man. As soon as I got out there off the plane, man, it was like it was like I felt like I was in like the stories I hear about the fighters when they land in Saudi Arabia. Like they get praised out there. They get treated like royalty out there. Like man, the way I got treated out there was priceless, man. It was definitely a part of the reason why I won. Part of my story. Energy. I'm a big believer in energy. Energy is everything. And as soon as I got off that plane, man, I was getting love from all over the place. As soon as I got to the hotel, I was getting love from everybody. The cab drivers out there, man. As soon as I got out there, um, I met certain cab drivers that were talking to me, and I met this guy James, a cab driver from he was from Ireland, and he ended up kind of being my personal driver, like right after my first call. Like, dude, he was amazing, man. He brought me to a gym out there, yeah, because they were setting me up with a couple other gyms out there, but I wasn't really feeling him like that. And then I met this guy James, and he took me to a dope ass gym out there. He ended up being like my security while I was out there. He was the plug out there, so it was just lit, man. It was a great experience.
You got treated well.
I got treated great, man. It was amazing. It was amazing. I can't wait to put this. It's gonna be in my book. It's gonna be chapter Belfast. You know what I'm saying? Fire, bro. Fire. The way they treated me out there, crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure of it, man. I mean, there was really nothing going on Friday night. Besides, well, it wasn't even Friday night. It was actually during the day. Actually, I think it ended around 6 o'clock. It was perfect, bro. It was actually real perfect. I loved it. Um, Let everybody know a little bit about your story too while we're here learning about you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I grew up fucking in Brockton, Massachusetts. Tough, gritty, crazy little city. Right on the outskirts of Boston, Massachusetts. Um, yeah, when I was younger, I got into some trouble, got locked up a few times, and then I found, I decided to go to the boxing gym, changed my life, saved my life, and I put my all into boxing when I was like 23 years old. I picked up a big case. Um, and yeah, I started boxing, bro, and that shit saved my life. The judge saw that I started boxing amateur, and the judge saw that, took that shit into recognition, and yeah, my court case was going on for like 3 years. It was a big case, and I started boxing. I had my whole city come out to like my last couple court dates because I was gonna go to jail for like 3 to 5 or some shit, 3 to 5 upstate, but yeah, I had my peoples come to court. I had my coaches come to court. And the judge looked at that, saw me going hard for my city as an amateur, even as an amateur, just changed my life drastically. And so the judge decided to give me a chance, gave me like 4 year, 3 or 4 years. Yeah, 3 years. I got 3 years of probation. And yeah, man, it was just I fucking took advantage of the opportunity. And I started taking boxing to the next level. I went pro when I was 27. And yeah, I'm now 33. I'm 20 and 0. You know what I'm saying? So the city's just going crazy right now. The city's on fire, man. City, Rocky Marciano, Marvin Hagler. Now you got myself, King Kevin Walsh. It's just, I'm a part of the big three. I call it the big three. A lot of people got shit to say. Talk shit about me because I'm a late bloomer in the sport. I didn't start fighting until I was 23, but it is what it is. I've been beating guys up that been boxing since they were 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It's never too late, guys. It's never too late.
That being said, how many amateur fights you have?
I had like 40 amateur fights.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you got busy for the time that you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
as
yeah.
amateur.
So from 23 to 27, yeah, I had like 40 amateur fights.
Okay, okay. So yeah, that's definitely a story and a half for people that feel like you got to be born into boxing. You got to grow into it
Yeah.
as a
I
baby.
wasn't I wasn't born into boxing like that because I didn't start till I was 23, but my father was he was a street fighter, and he knew boxers and shit like that. He was from Brockton, and so growing up, I always had gloves downstairs in the basement. I had a punching bag, and me and my boys would always fight downstairs and shit like that. So I was always a problem. I was always a street fighter and shit like that. But so that's how I knew like fighting was most likely my calling, and you know what I'm saying. So once I got out of once I was locked up, I really asked myself, what should I do? What could I do? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a genius. I was never a genius. So I figured, fuck it, I'm gonna start boxing. I could probably go professional. And I know that it would be a good look to the judge. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I started boxing, and boxing saved my life at that time. So I got another chance instead of going to jail. I got probation. So, and I started just getting better and better and better. My biggest aspect was my belief in myself. So yeah, here I am now, 20 and 0, man. It's crazy. Just retired Mick Conlon, man. You know what I'm saying? Out in Ireland. Amazing. People are gonna hate. That's what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's a
It i-
beautiful story, my brother.
it is what it is. It's nice to see some of you guys, just ch- you know building your way up to that fight that you just had. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
could be able to cover you guys. You know me, I cover
Yeah,
people
yeah,
on
because
TV.
and that's another thing. Like people are gonna like I was a huge underdog in that fight because I'm a New England guy. And with not a big name. You know what I'm saying? So and I bet you Colin probably handpicked me or whatever maybe he looked at my opponents, my previous fights, and just he was underestimating me. But I'm living proof, man. Anything is possible. So whoever they put in front of me, I'm gonna just keep rising to the occasion. So that's why it's time for the big ones now, man.
I
I
love it.
earn my spots. I earn my stripes for sure.
I love it. I love it. Hopefully you can get that Shushu Bruce Carrington fight, and I'm gonna definitely get you guys linked up. He was a little busy today, but get
Yeah,
you guys linked up.
hopefully Shushu's okay. Hopefully his family's all right. He had a little something come up early, but I'm praying for him. I hope everything's okay. And yeah, no hard feelings, man. I want all the world champions, man.
I love it. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media right now.
Instagram King Kevin Walsh, Facebook Kevin Walsh, YouTube Kevin Walsh. Yeah, man, real story, real shit, real life. We here.
I love it, man. Till the next time, man. Appreciate
I'll
you.
see you later, my guy. Appreciate you, Mills.
Stay blessed, brother.
All right, bro.
Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it's your boy Mills from Mill City Boxing, home of that high level pro boxing media, the Fighters and Trainers channel, and most importantly, the People's channel. We're gonna be having Bernie the Boxer tapping in with us because he had that fight with Lester Martinez and the whole BMB crew. Salute to the people in the live. Smash that like button. We got the one and only. Did you miss me? Bernie the Boxer, ladies and gentlemen. What's
Mill,
going on? What's going on, Bernie?
what's good, Mill City? Shit.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. We just getting back in from the road, man. Coming from What was that? California. Was in California. Now I'm in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Talk to me
Mhm.
about the performance, man. What's your reaction?
I watched it this morning. I thought it was a good performance. He did some tricky stuff in there. Lester Slick. He got some tricky moves in there. Of course, we got some things to work on, but I think we got the job done convincingly. I love the 12 rounds. It was full 12 rounds. His first time going to full 12. And shoot, you don't get no better than that. I think Aleem, he was a quality opponent. He was tough. He wasn't there to lay down, which they told us that. If you've seen any of his past fights, he had a dog in him, and had been on PBC a little bit, fought some name worthy guys, and didn't have a bad record. Gave a good account of himself, and so it was a good opponent for Lester, and coming off that grueling fight we just had. So it was a good fight, and you got to see Lester box and show a little his repertoire.
100%. And Aleem, hell of a chin. He was getting hit with a lot of shots that a lot of people would be going down on.
Yeah,
Very, very entertaining fight.
yeah.
That fight was a lot more entertaining than the Carlos Adames and Emma Williams because that fight was a lot more one sided. This one was a little bit more back and forth, but you see Lester stealing the rounds though. You know what I mean? You see them stealing the rounds. Not a hard fight to score. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, no. Lester won maybe every round except maybe you can get that guy one round, maybe two. But no, Lester won the rounds comfortably. He was doing the better work in there, and yeah, no. But it was an entertaining fight because old boy brung the fight. He was trying to fight, so that's what made it entertaining. And then again, a lot
Stayed
of
in the
people,
mid range the whole time.
yeah, it was going a little back and forth. Sometimes Lester was on the back foot, and sometimes he was pressing. So it was a good little back and
Yeah, I
forth.
like that. I like that part
No,
of
it
the
was a
fight.
little bit of everything. So it was a good fight, good performance on this guy. Like I say, shout out to Aleem and them for bringing the fight. A lot of people probably thought Lester was gonna blow through him, which I was kind of figuring that too. We was probably gonna get him out of there. But again, I think if we tighten up a couple of things, we just need to go back and really watch the fight and study it with him, and maybe when he's in his positions again, I can give him better instructions on what to do, and maybe what I'm saying, he can take heat a little bit. But good performance though. So I'm so happy for him. So happy for Coach Saul. So happy for everybody for the team. But when I say Saul, is more because they from Guatemala, and he's always wanted a Guatemalan champion. And he's the first of I'm gonna say of any sort. He's the interim champion, so he's not the full champion, and we're striving for the full championship. So we understand that. But just the the just what he's accomplished so far right now is like the biggest thing in Guatemala history so far as boxing. So I'm just so happy for them in that respect.
Yeah, I was watching some of the photos, and I was seeing, Bomac, give him the WBC strap, and it was just cool to see that. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
guys had your moment with Bud, and you guys giving him that moment where Lester. I think that
yeah,
that was real touching,
yeah,
Maria. But
yeah, because that's like it's like his son, you know, like his son. So it was and Coach Hector too that he come up with Coach Hector. Just great things to come. So I'm so happy for all those guys, putting in the work, even the manager, Ramon. It takes a lot to get to that point. You never know what's going to happen in the fight. Anything can happen. And just for them to be able to be successful up to this point is just a great, fulfilling moment for those guys. So I'm so happy for them.
all those people were Guatemalan. There was a lot of Latinos over there, huh?
Everybody's Guatemalan. Listen, if they Mexican, okay, a lot of them, when we was there, a year ago, they're married, they're like together, like married. Either one of the spouses is Guatemalan or Mexican. Cause I sat in the crowd last time and I had my Lester shirt on, I had one of his belts, and everybody, see me, I was with them, and they was all just, like super excited. But they was all, I was like, they was like, no. And that's when they told me, I said, you Guatemalan? I said, no, I'm Mexican, but my wife is Guatemalan, or no, but my husband is Guatemalan. It's a mix. So and it's a Hispanic country, state, California, but it's a big. He got a huge following there, and so yeah, it was tremendous. That thing was raucous in there. It was really, it was beautiful, man. And if you seen, they showed me videos of in Guatemala, so they had like watch parties, and it was deep. It's like what the whole country was watching this guy. 15 million people watching this kid. So. He is one to watch for. Lester is a slick. He got some shit, man. Lester be doing some shit. And it's all about growth too. He's been getting groomed, and now it's time to step it up and get some of those guys. Like if you listen to the commentary, you heard Robert Garcia talking. It's not just Canelo. It's a plethora of guys to make a legacy on and make some exciting fights and in that division. So super excited about that.
Still a hot division. Still a
Yeah,
hot division.
yeah.
Um, Obviously the target was the winner of Billy and Canelo.
Yeah, that is it. But it's just not. It doesn't end all and be all with those guys. That's what like Robert Garcia was alluding to. It's just not eluding. It's just not stuck on those two guys. And so it's a lot of guys that he can make some good fights with. But we are in the line for that, and I feel like as though it should only be right that in Billy rematches him, not only just for us but for him. You know, I don't know how you know. You can really be a true champion, feel like yourself as a real true champion, being upgraded. I don't believe in being upgraded to a champion. That fight has to be won, whether the title is vacant and you fight for it, but you should never be upgraded to the championship. Boxing is a fighting sport. It's not a would you say like a political system, or it's sports. So and nobody can be named um a champion. You have to earn that, have to fight for that.
Tell me, I mean, how do you feel like Billy does with Canelo? Does Canelo beat him, Billy? Do you feel like
Yeah, I think Canelo chops him up. I think he's gonna be right there to get hit. Canelo got a lot in his arsenal. And I think he's, what I'm saying, Canelo, he got too much in his arsenal for him, Billy. And Billy is really a one trick pony, but he's good at what he do. He's a
high
durable,
pace?
high pace type of guy, but he's right in your face. And I don't think he's the hardest puncher. I think he's a good puncher, but he's not the hardest puncher. So I think Canelo got too many wrinkles in his game and should cut him up.
Okay, so that being said, how do you feel like, Lester does with Canelo?
I think it'll be a lot more exciting because they kind of reminded me each other. He got that slick little stuff that Canelo does too. He got those pot shots that he does. And obviously they would probably favor Canelo, but I feel like, we can, I think it'll be a really good fight. And, I think if we it can it can go our way if, like I say, I want to study this fight with him, and I want to just add a couple things or remind him of some things that he can do, and it'll make for an entertaining fight. So I think he's up for the challenge.
Yeah, that would be huge at the end of the day. I mean, just for the camp itself. I mean, I don't know. When you go back home with Lester, how do the people gonna feel like, knowing that you got another one?
What do you mean?
The camp. The people that are around the gym. The people.
Talking about us?
Yeah,
Oh, like I say, we always had high hopes for Lester. Since when he first started, and since he came with us, we know he's a he's a hard punching, counter punching. Like I say, do things unorthodox, and so we had a lot of um, potential to see. And so excited to be with Lester. He's a good worker. He's a good person. Works hard. Got to slow him down. Got to tell him, hold off a little bit. And he's a wonder to work with. So the B&B thing is still going on. We train fighters. I think we, if not the best team, we're one of the best teams in boxing. And each person has their own thing that they bring to the table. And I think it all mixes up well. It all goes back to probably to the same center point, But so I think we, like I say, if not the best team, we are the best team, in boxing. So we got a big baby going up. We working with big baby now. He's really excited. He's really showing a lot of zeal in training. We got Richard Torres going up. Excited to work with him and see what we can bring out of his style. And like I said, we had Lolo Harris. We got a lot of we got fighters that we working with. So, we B&B is here to stay.
yeah, yeah. That Mark, what was it? The Marksman kid, Corey Marksman, that fought before you guys. He was pretty good too.
The kid from Guatemala.
No, the black kid, Corey Marksman.
No, the Guatemala knocked him out. It was Guatemala. He won the 54-pound international
Oh no,
title.
my bad. That was the zone card. My bad. That was the zone card. Do you see the zone card?
No, we didn't watch it. We was busy fighting.
Well, I didn't know if you watched it today or not.
No,
With Carlos Adames and Emma Williams.
no, I didn't get to see. I only seen the highlights of it. But
Yeah,
everybody said it was pretty much like said a one-sided fight.
yeah. Emma won the first round, and that's it.
Yeah,
It was,
which I expected. Which I expected.
and he's also talking about possibly moving up to 68. Carlos Adames in
Yeah,
his
yeah,
last tweet.
we heard that too. Heard that too. So, like I say, it gets more interesting. The shit getting deep.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, it's getting deep. Um, what's your thoughts on Xander Zayas and Boots negotiations? Now that Virgil Ortiz is out the picture.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect. They in negotiations to fight.
Yeah,
All the shit gonna happen then. The shit gonna happen then. That's great. Like I say, Boots is a star. Xander is becoming a star. You know what I'm saying? And two portions of the championship. Boots was a unified champion at 47. Xander is, he got the other got two portions of the title. So I think it's a great fight. Shout out to both of them. Shout out to Xander for taking on that challenge. Shout out to Boots. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a champion. I can see him doing that. I know he's been like I say, he fought the tune-up guy and this and that, but this guy wants to be champion, after 30-something fights and having a taste of the championship, which he was able to accomplish by beating Stanionis and also capturing the Ring Magazine championship. I think pretty much ready to show what he got. It's either now or never. And I think he believes it's now or never. And it's, I think he's confident in what he can do. And so why not? So shout out to them. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be a really good fight.
who do you think wins the fight?
Of course I'm favoring Boots. You know what I'm saying? I'm going with Boots. I ain't gonna lie. I'm going with Boots. But it's an entertaining fight. It's gonna be a good fight. This guy can box. Xander's eager to prove himself too. They've been building him, slowly been building him into to where he can handle it. And this will be his biggest task by far. But they putting him in these certain situations to get him ready for this. And like I said, it's probably him for now. It's either now or never. When you got the championship, it really ain't too much where to go but to fight the best. You can't. It's really only anywhere to go. And then you got killers like Boots, gunning for you. That's in there. So they're gonna, you know, they want to see him at the top. So it's really nowhere to go. You got you got Keith Thurman and Fundora going up next week. You got the other kid Kelly over there ducked off just with an upset win over Mirza Talayev. So like I say, without Virgil Ortiz, is the only other thing for option for Boots was the champion. Xander probably had more options, being that he just won the title and probably could milk it a little bit, but you know it didn't fall his way, and I think it's good. You can't go no wrong with fighting the best.
Yeah, for sure. At
Yeah,
the end of the day, a lot of people are saying that this is more of the marquee fight. Um, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people like the Virgil fight just because of his, he's exciting. He's a
yeah,
very exciting type of a fighter. But
yeah, yeah.
sometimes these belts put glory for some of these people as well. And obviously Xander, obviously his publicity is blowing up as well. So, yeah, you like the fight.
I like the fight, but I'm thinking, the only reason why the Boots fight not happening or the Virgil Ortiz is because of Oscar De La Hoya in that situation. For whatever reason, which is a shame because each of these guys, those three should be looking for the best of each other. And I feel like Virgil Ortiz he's beaten former world champions, he's beaten former world title challengers. He's been groomed, and I feel like that was the fight. So it's a shame that those three couldn't come up with the situation to make that fight happen.
Right, right. And and what do you think about next week? You got Keith Thurman versus Fundora.
Yeah, I'm favoring Fundora.
Yeah.
I'm
A lot of
favoring
people are.
Fundora. I think Keith Thurman he doesn't knock nobody out now. He doesn't knock nobody down. Those was at the lower level that he was knocking people out. He had a big reputation in the amateurs, which was 20 years ago. And he's hasn't been one time in a long time. It sounds good, but he's not knocking anybody out. And I think this kid has tasted defeat. He's been through the struggle with Tim Zoo. He's seasoned. He's fought some good fighters along the way at the same time, so he's seasoned, and it's all in for Fundora. I think that he's in boxing a little bit more. I think he showed in his last fight was boxing a little bit more. He's definitely conscious of the looping punches. Being that he took that setback with Mendoza. He's young and but experienced now. Like Ali said, I've been knocked down. I had my jaw broken. I'm seasoned now. So I feel like Keith Thurman is going to have a deficit trying to get to him. Haven't been that active, so I'm favoring Thurman.
Yeah, and then
I'm
also
favoring. Excuse my language. I'm favoring
Fundora.
Fundora. Yeah,
Yeah. Listening to some of the Twitters, Fundora talking about, if he's successful with Keith Thurman or when fighting Virgil.
yep. That's what I'm saying. That's the only way to go. Keith Thurman is kind of like an older type of guy, but he was two-time, unified champion, big name, only lost to Manny Pacquiao, for whatever it's worth at the end of the day, no matter how long it is, he only lost to the great Manny Pacquiao. And he was a unified champion. He beat a couple of the good guys in the division, when he was at a 47. Obviously, he's aged a little bit now, so he's putting on a little bit more weight. And 54 is a good weight for him. And but you got a young hot blood like Virgil Ortiz, which is matches the kid with Fundora. So it'd be a good fight. They both somewhat Mexican, and it's gonna be a good fight. Virgil Ortiz gonna bring the crowd. He's bringing the excitement, and it'll be a good fight. But Fundora gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't catch him, he gonna be hard to beat.
You got Brian Mendoza and Tellis. They're fighting on the card as well.
Okay.
You like that fight?
I'm not really that well with Tellis. I'm not really that well versed with him. I don't really follow him at all. But I seen what Brian Mendoza can do, and so you know Good little fight, probably entertaining because Brian Mendoza brings the fight. And Tellez, I'm not sure about what he does though for it. He's a Cuban, right?
Cuban. He's kind of a more of a puncher.
Okay,
Bless
so
you.
there you go. Thank you. Excuse me. Yep, there you go then. It's fireworks.
And then you also got Yo-Yo Hernandez fighting Goucher on the same on that card as well.
So that fight that where Terrell just knocked somebody out, that was old.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The last fight, I think Goucher fought. I think he got robbed.
I just seen him knock somebody out. It just Shum just came up where he knocked somebody out. But okay, that was just previewing that he's gonna be on the Keith Thurman fight because then that did show like the Thurman. Okay, so Fundora. So okay, Gaucher, he still hey, listen, man, being Olympian, giving your best foot forward, you still got some opportunities. I was just watching Gamboa versus Jason Sosa. And I mean Max and them they were talking about that, about how his pedigree and what he once was, having a name and everything, still get you good opportunities. You put up a good fight, you win some, and you still putting up a good fight. You still gonna make some money in this game. So happy for him.
Big facts. Big facts. May 30th, Rolly Romero versus Devin Haney. What's
Yeah,
your thoughts? What's your thoughts?
good fight. Good fight. Devin Haney's obviously probably on the path for trying to become undisputed again. Like I said, it'll be something that he can do different in this situation. And it's not a slight from the last situation where he inherited by beating Cambosis. It's just it's still a great accomplishment either way, but now it's just like another way he's doing it. I'm going to beat each of the champions to gain the undisputed status. So it's not no knock on what he's doing. It's just he's just going about it a certain way. And I think that just adds a feather into his cap, give him something else to brag about, that I beat each and one of the champions, even though he beat the champion at lightweight, but now he's going to beat each and one of those champions. So just give it a little more spice, give him a little more, win, capture one and capture the other one, capture still, keep the hunger going. So
Do
it's a
you
good fight.
do you feel like it'll be more entertaining than the Brian Norman fight versus Devin?
Um, I'm not certain because I think Rolly telegraphs his punches as well,
Mm.
and so again, you got a guy like Devin again who's been, season two. He's been fighting pro for a long time now. He's been, like I say, he's been up, he's been down. You know, um, he's been whether, and that's in the ring and out of the ring. They did a great job with matching them with guys like Linares. Seasoned guys that can really fight, but maybe was just a little bit past it. Gamboa. Just getting them ready for these moments. Then they stepped him up with the Lomachenko, and he had the Jojo Diaz, and he's fighting seasoned guys. To getting ready for this moment. So then he had the setback with Ryan, where what happened in that situation, and so then he had to all the doubt that he's faced. So the adversity, so to speak, and he's going there fighting a puncher like Brian Norman, a young, hungry guy like Brian Norman, and completely dominating him. So I think Devin Haney's going to be hard to beat right now, and I'm expecting him to win. I don't know how exciting the fight's going to be, but I know Rolly's going to bring the fight. I think he's going to put a little bit more effort than Brian Norman, because he's more of a reckless type of guy. He's more of a guy that try to hurt you. So I think Brian Norman was a little bit more calculated, even though he wants to hurt you. At the same time, I think he's a little more calculated. Rolly won't be as calculated. I think he's gotten better too. I think he's getting better, but he's going to be trying to get him. So I think it's going to be a really good fight. And they both got championships, so why not? Why not fight? It's a perfect fight.
Yeah, people say, oh, hearing the rumors with like Tank saying that Rolly hits harder than, Ryan, but Ryan a lot faster than Rolly and being able to like pull
Yeah,
the trigger in the shots.
yeah,
I think that could be a big difference in the fight as well, right?
yeah. Ryan definitely faster than Rolly, but see how styles make fights, because Rolly just he got his number. I don't think Ryan can beat Rolly, and I said that before they fought the first time. I seen the sparring sessions, and he just really ran Ryan around the goddamn ring. You know, he just run him all around that motherfucker, and I think he just got his number. But again, you know, Rolly, you know, he's been on the job too. You know, had that tough fight with the old man. You know, been in there with Tank, been in the bright lights. You know, had some good fights on his way up, and you know, so he been in there with Ryan again, got that win, and so I think it's going. You know, he got the championship. They both have portions of the championship. So why not fight? They both big names. Why not fight?
But you favor
Devin,
Devin Haney and within like what 70%?
me,
70-30?
no, 90-10.
90-10. 90-10, huh? Shit, you had Norman winning the fight and you're gonna give 90-10 to Rolly? That's nasty work, Bernie. Ninety
Yeah,
ten.
yeah. But
I
this is
respect it though.
but you got to understand the circumstance was different.
Yeah.
He said, I think Norman doesn't have experiences really. No, we don't. But the thing, what I'm saying is that Devin has gotten better. You know, he's more aware of things, you know, and he has far more attributes than the guys that we talking about. So at the time, we were all suspect about Devin getting caught with the hook. That was the main thing going into the Brian Norman fight was if Devin can he get out of the way of the hook, and Brian Norman had showed a devastating hook. So that was the main thing. Other than that, a lot of people favored Devin to win the fight. You know, me for whatever. If you want to call me a hater or whatever, I was favoring Brian Norman, you know, but it was mostly off of the left hook. You know, I was figuring he's this guy got he wants to be a household name. He has the power. He maybe his will, but I wasn't thinking correctly. You know, not knowing this guy has the experience and everything like that. So and the talent, so I picked wrong. Devin proved me wrong. He showed he was levels above and he came out victorious. So I'm expecting him to do the same thing in this fight. Um, I think he's a lot more defensively minded than Tank was, and again with his experience and with his setbacks, I think he's gonna come out victorious.
Now that Devin is fighting Rolly, Ryan is now thinking about having some talks with Teofimo Lopez. What do you think about that matchup?
Well, I think it's well, coming off an ass whooping like that, I would like to see Teofimo get some more confidence. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just completely got his ass beat by Shakur. Got his ass beat. See, both his eyes was closed. He got his ass beat. Um, so I don't know how big his stock is. You know what I'm saying? He got his ass beat. It wasn't a close fight. Got his ass beat. So Ryan is just trying to find a way to milk the title. Um, it's been talks about if he really, if you know, then you got to understand his over talking. You know, because it was going to be a 144-pound weight class. That's what Shakur wanted. And obviously, he was going up to 47 in that situation, which anything over 140 is 147. And he gave great reasons for that weight class. But upon all the speculation, Ryan with his big mouth spoke up and said, "Well, I'll go down to 140," and we've had yet to hear that. It's nothing from that. So, Ryan is just a bunch of talk. But with him capturing the world championship and looking pretty much better than he has in a long time, he's feeling himself, and the hype,
Right.
the hype is, the hype. The hype is there, and so he's talking a lot and not meaning everything. He just talking. So but he can kind of get away with that again because he had a great performance against Barrios, and he's a world champion now. So his followers are diehard followers. They believe in his rhetoric, and they're 100% in his corner. And so I think when he talks, it's like God talking, and it doesn't matter whether he backs it up or not. It's just they're going to ride with him no matter what. They're not going to hold him to no fire. They're not gonna make him live up to what he said, and that's the last thing that was said. So
Yeah, I know. I've been going through the back and forth, even with Ryan's dad, and just watching the Twitters. Like you said, the 44 catch weight to, you saying I'll go to 40, and it seems to me like ever since they got the title, everything's kind of changed, like you said, and they're kind of saying otherwise, like saying, listen, why don't you go up? Now, your opinion.
mhm.
I talked to Michael Fox earlier. He was helping Thurman for the camp, and he was saying that he thinks Shakur might be too small. What do you think? You think Shakur's too small to go up to 47, take that belt, be a 5 division champion, and get that paper in the same time?
No, why we say that? And Tank is 5'5", and Tank knocked him. Okay, Tank still boxing. Shakur's a better boxer than Tank. Shakur not small. Ryan ain't got no taller. He might got a little heavier, but Shakur's 5'8". Ryan ain't that tall. He looks taller on television, but he's what, 5'10". So he got a little height on him.
Ryan said that he started his pro career at 130 pounds.
Okay, so what that mean? You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, I don't to say that Shakur is too small. I doubt that. Shakur gets in there with the bigger guys, and
Well,
again,
Shakur's saying it too.
what
He's saying he's too small. He's more of a 135 pounder.
he can fight both. I believe that. Yeah, he can fight both, but there's no fights at 135. That's why he's not doing that. If he got the Tank fight, he would fight him at 135. But Tank don't want to go nowhere near him. So, he took the biggest fight right then with a guy with a reputation, such as T.O., with accomplishments such as T.O. And, he did what he's supposed to do. He dominated him. So now, there's really nowhere for him to go besides capitalize off his newfound success or reputation. And there's plenty of guys to fight at the 140 pounds. It's Gary Russell. He can go over to England, fight the Dalton Smith. Um, I think Gary Russell was the hardest task probably at that weight class, 140. You still got guys like Matias, that's about to fight Dalton Smith. So the kid can really do whatever he want to do. I was really excited for the Ryan Garcia fight, but again, he was just talking. But I think 144 is good because at the same time, you're going to blow up the next day anyway. You're going to blow up. Everybody's going to gain a pretty good weight the next day. So 144 should be fair. For a guy that started at 130 pounds. So I think 144 is fair. And I think sometimes, in negotiations, it just works like that. Everything is a bargaining situation. And it's either put up or shut up. So he argued with the 144. He didn't want to do it. And then he said 140. So if
Yeah,
he can't make
144 was with no catch weight as well. I mean, no hydration clause.
yeah, so with the hydration clause, what do you mean he can't gain no more than a certain amount?
10, yeah, 10
10?
pounds.
I
That's if
think
they
they
did
all
it
doing.
at 140.
I think they all doing that. If I think if Ryan waiting at 140, he's gonna come in at about 152, 54. Shane was 135 and he was coming in at 150. So I'm at least giving him 15 pounds. At least 15 pounds, coming in the next day. At least 15 pounds.
But Team
Deep
Team Garcia, they don't even rehydrate that much. They're saying
who?
Team Garcia. They're saying they rehydrate almost about 9 pounds.
Well, then it shouldn't be a problem with the catch weight.
Do you feel like people making a big deal out of these pounds? Do you feel like 3 pounds is a lot to make a big deal out of?
Well, I think, Shakur probably just using it as leverage to just because, I think it's just he just using it just because. Like, I don't know. No, I don't really know. I don't know. I think if what we talking about is if he want to go, I think if you want to challenge Ryan Garcia, I think he should fight him at his whatever weight it is. Ryan should, if he want to weigh 147, he just can't weigh over 147. Now I think a hydration clause should be in that where you don't weigh no more than 157. So that's cool. You know, he can make 147, but he can't gain no more than 10 pounds. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. He could still weigh in at 147, but he just can't gain no more than 10 pounds. I think that's fair.
Yeah, yeah. You get all the credit too. You get all the credit for it, and
Yeah.
then nobody complains. And then you get the 5 division champion, on your
Yeah.
belt as well,
Yeah.
which is big.
Yeah.
Um, but him fight Ryan fighting Teofimo Lopez. What does that do for Ryan? Is there negotiation room? Like, I don't know. It's just a name. You're saying that his name is already drowned.
No, I think no, it's his name
No,
ain't
no
Drown, but
value.
it's not no value, but I'm saying he's coming off a dominant loss.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Maybe if he had one or two fights, you know what I'm saying, to kind of get back in the win column and kind of look good against somebody other than Shakur, then I could see, you know what I'm saying? Then we'll see what we're talking about. Because he does have a skill set, and he's gonna be there to be hit. He's gonna lunge in, he's gonna be able to get countered by T.O. and things like that. But I would just like to see T.O. get back in the win column. He lost pretty much every round against Shakur Stevenson. He was busted up. He took some hard shots. You see his face was all busted up. Both his eyes was closed. He took some great body shots, almost turned him sideways. So he took some punishment in that fight. He got punished the whole fight for real. He got dominated in every aspect. And so I would like to see him come back in the win column. And it was his weight division. It wasn't even like he went up in weight. It was his weight division.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you fighting the top three, top five, pound for pound type of a guy. I mean, the win with Arnold Barboza didn't look too bad against Kenneth Sims the other week. I mean, it made Teal look a little bit better. What you think?
No,
No.
no.
Do you think Arnold Barboza looked better at 47?
Uh no. He looked the same.
He looked the same.
He looked the same.
Kenneth Sims didn't really look too good.
No, Kenny Sims, my TV went out, but everybody was disappointed in Kenny's performance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I see it. I see the play. You like some people in the comments are saying you like Russell.
I like Russell. I think he has a reputation. His reputation is that of a tough fighter, a scrappy fighter. In a challenge. So I like he hasn't really been outclassed. He lost to Puello, had a tough fight with a veteran like what's the kid's name, Postal, but you know he had a great performance against Rayo, of course. I thought he had a good fight against this other kid, Hakora. It was a pretty good fight when I watched it, and it was a pretty good fight. And so I think he's the one. He's if you want to call him the boogeyman, nobody's calling for Russell. Nobody is saying I want Russell. I want Russell. Not one person is saying I want Russell. Nobody did mention everybody else's name but Russell. Do
Lamont
you know
Roach.
Lamont Roach with what?
Lamont Roach wants Russell.
Nah, Lamont Roach just talking.
You
That's
think he's
why
just talking?
that's why he's fighting for the 35-pound title now.
Mm.
Russell, he would have went to Russell. He would have made that a whole DC affair. He would have did that. But nah, he would have did that. So
Oh, so you think because you going down to 135, you was blowing wolf tickets?
I would say that. If you want, what I'm saying, like I told you the last time I think we did it, let's stay on task. If you saying you want this, then stick to that. Don't accept nothing else but that until that has been exhausted. Until that situation will not come about for whatever reason, then move on. Of course, your eyes are open and to different things, but when you have a specific goal, stick to that goal. I mean, nothing is guaranteed in life. Nothing is 100%. And but one must always have to consider what if. And if he really truly wanted Russell, he would have did that. He would have been, he would have did that. Even though, um, it's a hard to not get a shot at a title fight, at a probably a more comfortable weight class, you know, and being the fact that Gary Russell just fought, it might be a little more long, it might a little more wild, but they just kind of fought around the same time. So no, he didn't want to do it. He didn't really want to wrestle then because like I say, they could have went straight in negotiations after that. You know,
They could have.
could have went straight in negotiations after that. Actually, hell, they could be fighting on the Devin Haney card May 30th. Shit, turn right back around and go to training camp and get back to work.
Hmm. Hmm. I wonder if these guys have any ego, being on each other's undercarder or not.
I don't know. I think it's almost like the Carnival of Champions of old days. You got three, you got 4 exciting fights. Any one of them could be the main event, just to be a part of the show, to fight a great opponent. That should be good enough, Don't matter if you see me last or you see me first. Long as the crowd is there, of course you want the crowd to be there. And I think when the fights are that evenly matched or that anticipated, the crowd will get there early. So I don't know, but I will hope not.
Hmm. What's your reaction on Keyshawn Davis pulling up on Abdullah Mason in the top ranked press conference, them joining the zone?
I thought it was very distasteful. I thought it was distasteful. Um, I think they were there as stable mates to announce the deal. He's went on record apologizing to Abdullah Mason for the way he acted during that last fight with De Los Santos and that whole fiasco. And I think he kind of went back on his word a little bit, with that situation. I really didn't like that. I was very disappointed in him in that situation. I don't know really what led up to that. I don't know because I was kind of hearing him like he said something about the dad said something or so, I don't know. But even at the same time, still your situation was with Abdullah Mason, not with his dad. So I wouldn't agree with him taking on taking it, so to speak, out on Abdullah because of what his dad said. So I thought it was very distasteful. I listened to Greg Hackett, what he said, and I thought he was kind of spot on with some things that he was saying. And again, I thought it was very distasteful, being the fact that he said he didn't have to do all that the way he was acting the last time. Abdullah Mason is doing his own thing. Um, Again, I agree with Greg that he doesn't show that type of energy with other fighters, and so I think it was very distasteful.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like Abdullah wasn't necessarily ready for the situation again, kind of caught off guard. But,
But
he go ahead.
I would like to see Abdullah get a little more tougher because
Mm.
that shit would have pissed me off. I think he need to be a little bit more tougher. He looked his eyes, and I'm not saying you don't have to be, but I would have been in. He no, he would have got me mad with that shit because he already went and did the shit last time, and you didn't apologize or whatever and this and that. Okay, it's cool, but now. You know what I'm saying? Now you doing this stupid shit again and you talking shit. You telling my dad you gonna fuck me up, telling my dad you gonna knock me out. See shit like that. See now I'm going in now I'm getting a little angry and perturbed. You know what I'm saying? Even if I know we not gonna fight, but I'm like, nigga, fuck you. Nigga, fuck you. You ain't gonna knock shit out. You feel me? I ain't just gonna be sitting there. I'm gonna have a little bit more aggression if I'm Abdullah Mason. So I would like to see him have a little bit more aggression. Feel me? For real. True story. Like he is a champion. I don't give a fuck if he young or not. And he believe he that. That's why Keyshawn had a little trouble with him at first because he went on, maybe I don't know if it was your show or whatever platform he was on, and he said he believed he could beat Keyshawn, at the time when Keyshawn was the champion. So, what I'm saying? When you have that type of belief or that situation, then, you know, um, yeah, motherfucker, fuck you, nigga. Yeah, I said it. So fucking what? What we gonna do? Yeah, nigga, you talking all this crazy shit about me, nigga. Yeah, nigga, fuck you, nigga. You ain't gonna knock shit out, nigga. I'll beat your ass, boy. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I ain't no baby, nigga. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Excuse my language, but just show a little bit more aggression. You gotta, Keyshawn is a bully. If you don't bring it to him, he just a step on you. So I feel like you definitely have to hold your ground with a guy like Keyshawn because obviously, what I'm saying, he doesn't bring the same type of animosity towards the other guys, which Greg Hackett mentioned. And I think that's true. We done seen it together. He shows no type of animosity towards Andy Cruz, and Andy Cruz saying all this dumbass shit. I never seen him get tough with Andy Cruz. Never seen him have a mean face against Andy Cruz. You know what I mean? Never heard him, point his finger at Andy Cruz, say, I'm gonna knock your bitch ass out when we fight. Or I never seen him get like that with Andy Cruz. That's just one thing I can mention. I know he did push De Los Santos, which I didn't think that was in good taste. Because I don't think De Los Santos did nothing but sign up to fight him. So I seen the thing with Ryan Garcia. I was kind of disappointed that he let Ryan Garcia point at him in his face. You know how he did? That's Wait a minute. Now we talking and we talking. But when you doing shit like this, hold on, boy. You I ain't letting you point at me in the club too, bro. And then you know what I'm saying? I'm not even playing no games because, like I said, he even went and said what was going on. He elaborate on what they was talking about. And he said Ryan said he know they wasn't gonna fight or this and that, so they put on the show. I'm not even with the show shit. That shit weak as fuck and weak as fuck to me. Putting on a show, I'm not gonna let you put on a show with me. Why we faking and fronting? Nah, hell no, we ain't doing that shit. Why? You know what I mean? So, um, I understand to be popular and try to start but nah. Now you're supposed to be a fighter at the end of the day, and what you do in the ring is most important. So I think he's doing well with the everything he's been doing on social media with the influence,
Streaming.
yeah, all that type of thing. But no, I'm not gonna let you play with me, boy. We're not even doing that. No, hell no. And then when he pointed in my face, no, that shit was weak as fuck. So I'm a little disappointed in Keyshawn in that situation, man. But yeah, that's just it for real for me. So but I would say Abdullah Mason is he's a world champion now.
He
He's
did say, "Yo,
21.
I got your belt." He said, "I got your belt," and then Keyshawn said, "Yeah,
Yeah,
but you didn't take it
yeah,
from
yeah,
me."
yeah, but it was weak. Fuck the belt. Nigga, you disrespecting me as a man. Fuck the belt. You talking
Mm-hmm.
about knocking me out. You ain't talking about taking my belt. You talking about knocking me out and you telling my dad that. You
Telling
talking
my
about
dad that.
dad gonna be crying and shit like that. Nah, nigga. And you pressing me and I ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? The shit could have went down because I was number one contender if you'd have did what you was supposed to do. If I'm Abdullah Mason, so I'm thinking. If you'd have did what you was supposed to do, we was gonna collide anyway. Feel me? Because I wasn't gonna turn the fight down. You know what I'm saying? I'm number one contender. I wasn't gonna turn the fight down, which they probably was gonna push for that. You know what I mean? If Keyshawn got past De Los Santos, oh boy, the way he looked against that kid, it was gonna be a matter of time. You know what I mean? It was only either gonna be that next, or you feel me. As long as Keyshawn was the champion, he was on borrowed time about fighting Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? So Keyshawn didn't hold his end of the bargain by making weight and other things like that. And so the fight sells. So I feel like I say again, I think it was just in bad taste, especially at an event like that. He brought a lot of nonsense to a situation that was meant to be positive and good for the sport. And again, he brought it to his own brother. He didn't bring it to, Andy Cruz is black, but he Cuban. Uh, uh, Ryan Garcia is American, but he's Mexican. You know what I'm saying? But he chose to do it to one of his own, so to speak, guys from the neighborhood. And I thought that was in very bad taste.
Called Jay Prince and everything. You seen that?
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that, but Jay ain't gonna do that, because he got too much money staked in both of them. He's not gonna let each one of them knock each other off. You know what I'm saying? So we knew that was just a bunch of bullshit right then. You know what I mean? If that's just Jay ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn going to 147 or at 40, the shit just ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. And like I say, but mostly even though it was in bad taste of Keyshawn, Abdullah Mason, he has to be a little bit more stronger. And I actually would have liked to see the brothers, you know what I mean, speak up a little bit. You know what I mean? They roll as a unit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, nah, you ain't gonna knock my nigga not in front of my daddy. You ain't gonna knock my brother out. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I would like to see them as that situation. Not that they're gonna jump him, not that they're, you know what I mean, but they move in a unit. And if little bro ain't saying nothing, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna speak up for him. Feel me? I'm not gonna just let you tell my little brother or my brother that you gonna knock him out in front of my dad. And you know, you disrespected my daddy and my brother, bro. Hell no, nigga. So I would have liked to see that, but it is what it is, over with, you know. But again, Abdullah Mason is a world champion. He's a lot of potential. They see him as a blue chip type of fighter, and he's also a grown man, so he has to be able to stand on his own and speak up for himself.
Yeah, I yeah, I agree, man. I mean that's definitely, I think what he's fighting. He has a title defense against. Do you remember his name? Joe Cordina. Matter of fact, yeah, he's gonna be
Uh,
fighting
uh,
Joe Cordina next.
Abdullah Mason is.
Yeah, title defense.
Good. We know whenever Abdullah Mason get in, he get busy. He's like I say, a blue chip type of prospect. You know, fighter now. He's young in the game, and I look for good things. I like to watch him fight. He's very entertaining. He don't just do the average shit in there. You know, he's very entertaining. He fights. He can box. He can do a little bit of everything in there, and I'm excited to see him.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on just why they all got together in the first place? Top rank going to the zone.
Good. You know, I mean, Top Rank is a long-standing staple in the boxing community. The Zone is a big platform, a lot of fights, so why not just load up? You know, boxing is big. As far as that, they got a lot of different ways they can go. Matchroom, Top Rank, and just all on a great network like the Zone. So I think it's good. You know, I'm hoping that I think we can right the wrongs of what ESPN did, which was not really force those guys to fight. You know, in competitive fights. You know, and so hopefully we can get better matchups. You know, because time waits for no man, and we ain't got time for that shit. You know, let's get the guys a good product. Let's get the fans a good product, something to be excited about. You know, and test these guys. You know, they want to get paid. They want to be stars. You know, you gotta earn that.
Speaking of matchups and delivering a good product, I was reading a little of a writer that put was writing on about the fight with Lester,
Hmm.
talking about Pro Box,
Hmm.
that they give out better matchups, better product than Zuffa. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, very competitive fights, great product. Now that was a top. What was that, like an interim title? That was big for Pro Box right there.
Yeah. I don't want to compare the two. You know, Zuffa's just getting started. I don't think they're being terrible. You know, I think they might stem from the Opataya fight. You know, where uh Opataya, I thought he did box well. You know, a lot of people was down on his performance, but I thought he boxed well. And you know, he's proven what he is in his other fights other than that. And I don't know, you know, but Pro Box has a little bit more. They've been around a little bit, just a little bit longer, you know. And you know, when you starting something new, you have to up the standard just a little bit, you know, for you go by the wayside. You have to offer something else. And so I think Pro Box is doing that, and I think they're moving their guys well. They, yeah, again, you know, you're not going to get nothing in mismatch fights. You know, having too many mismatch fights. You know, so it's definitely showcase fights, and every fighter deserves a showcase fight, and that's always been the mode um, throughout history. But for the most part, you know, competitive fights, and it's almost like a farm system. You know, you guys are grooming these guys to be superstars. So you know, it's best to match them competitively and see who makes the cut.
Yeah, no, I agree. But Pro Box has been doing a great job though. As far as their matchmaking, they're definitely doing a good job.
Yeah,
Paul, yo, I seen Paulie speak in Spanish. I didn't know Paulie speaks Spanish.
I said the same thing to him in the fighter meeting. I did not know that neither.
I had no
I,
idea.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little envious about that. I wish I could speak Spanish, man. That's beautiful. I mean,
He's a
it's beautiful.
talent.
I told him, I said, man, you know, when I went to, I think it was high school, they offered me different languages, you know, and of course I took Mexican first, took Spanish first, excuse my language. And man, but you know, Spanish kind of hard. You know, they say a lot, and it might not be a lot said, but it sounds like a lot. You know, it's pretty hard. I don't understand how you speak Spanish, but to have that talent is wonderful. And I wish I had that talent, And I say that as a point to I don't know if I have the um I just don't think I have it in me to learn it for real. I don't want to put doubt in myself, but I think Spanish is pretty hard to learn. So
It's
shout
one
out
of the it's one of the easiest. They say it's one of the easiest languages to.
that's what they say, but I could not. I just man, I don't know. I had to
I
start
don't
off.
know. I don't know if Paulie really knows. He said like a few words. You know what I mean? And then I seen somebody else helped him out with the translation, but he just to hear him say try
Yeah.
and accomplish it was good
He
too.
was going crazy in the fighter meeting talking with Lester, bro. He know it. He do know how to
Oh
speak it.
word.
Yeah, hell yeah. And our jury said he doesn't know how to speak it, but he can understand it. If that makes sense. That's what our jury said. But
Yeah. Steve Main, thank you for the two piece. I got Boots by knockout 9 or 10. Xander not it. What's your
mhm,
thoughts? You think a knockout would happen?
I don't know. Xander can box. Xander is a big guy. He didn't filled out for the weight. You know what I'm saying? He's put on a little bit more muscle. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's
He can hold his own.
it's not. Yeah, definitely. And I think I don't want to underrate. I don't want to overrate Karen, and I don't want to underrate him. But I think if a guy like Karen can actually do even better, he did better even in the second fight. So I don't. I think Xander probably right there with him. So I would give it a good chance. I don't know, but I think it's an interesting fight because I think Boots is the heir apparent. Everybody is waiting on Boots to outshine the pack. You know, so fighting for those two titles, against a guy like Xander. He still got a lot to prove, but that goes right in the right direction. That opens him up for the Kelly fight, which he's with over there with those guys. He can do that, or he can fight Fundora, who's the king of the division.
What do you think if Eddie puts Kelly and Boots? I mean Kelly and Xander together first? Because I was just listening to an interview and he said that he doesn't want to put Kelly and Boots together right after the Morataro fight.
Who? It's more told.
I'm
Morgan,
saying his name wrong.
Morgan.
Murder Talavis.
But I thought you said Boots and Xander Zayas is in negotiations.
They are in negotiations, and
Well, then
they're
that's
they're
it.
in.
Then. So he wants to. We ain't gonna put. You're gonna
Anything
put.
happens though. Anything can happen.
No, I think that's gonna be all right. If Top Rank, I don't know how serious the negotiations is, but I think definitely want to put Boots in with a champion. Being that Virgil Ortiz, the fight didn't materialize. It was a hot fight, wasn't for the championship. Again, I said that Boots being a champion, a unified champion, a lineal champion, he's going to want a title belt around his waist, which most fighters do. It brings more money, it brings more prestige, and it brings a little bit more swag to the fighter. So belts do matter, and I feel like Boots uh, wants to have a championship around his waist, and I think it's warranted. It boosts his ego and who he is and who people think he is.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are saying that he hasn't had that marquee fight yet, and Xander Zayas would definitely be that guy. Shout out to Clay Moraine saying people sleeping on the sweet science. Is Xander the best boxer Boots will have been in the ring with?
Pure boxer, yeah. Pure boxer, yeah. I thought Karen was a really good boxer, man. And Karen boxed him to death the first time, and then the second time he stood and fought with him and landed some really good punches. So I think Karen was a really good fighter. I
And he
think
was smaller than Boots too.
they're gonna match him with Josh Kelly. They're gonna move him. They're gonna put him in with Kelly. That's the fight they're gonna do because he's gonna fight in an eliminator or something. Karen is fighting an eliminator I seen somewhere. IBF eliminator.
Yeah, but Karen's at welterweight.
Oh, is he still?
Yeah, he's at welterweight. Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna fight the Crocker kid. Okay.
No,
Okay.
Crockett's fighting Liam Paro.
Yes, but I'm saying that he's in the IBF elimination. So he's
Oh,
gonna fight the winner or something, whoever
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. He is. Yeah, he's fighting the winner of Liam Paro and Crocker. You're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good to see him in the mix to see really how good he is. Get a
He
chance.
deserved He deserved it. He fought the boogeyman who was boots, so to speak, and fought tooth and nail with him. And yeah, so he didn't disappoint himself at all. So right in there with the mix, those guys, they not really world beater type of guys. You know, Crocker and Paro and all that. They, you know, so to get a shot at one of those and maybe win and become champion, be well deserved for him. And I still think he's vying for the championship. And I think he's still up there rated for that championship, IBF championship.
What do you think about Berlanga being on Zuffa and possibly Richardson Hitchens going along with them?
Well, Berlanga, you know, like I said, I never was high on Berlanga anyway, you know, but he showed a lot of guts fighting Canelo like that. You know, getting up, trying to make a stand. Showed a lot of heart in there in that fight, you know. And that's it, you know. He has he fought since he been knocked out?
Since the Shiraz fight?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, no, you know, like I said,
And
you know, a lot of those Latin guys bring their fan base with them, you know, so he still has a fan base. And so, you know, he's got that one loss, you know, to Shiraz. And so he just, you know, keep going, you know, so I'm not mad at that. Richard Hitchens, you know, I think man, his stock has dropped tremendous, you know. I don't see nothing, they don't have nothing to offer him at Zuffa for real. You know, he's been in talks with the killers of the 140-pound division, and us almost like metaphorically, if not figuratively, or you know, he's tucked his tail. So I think Richard
mm,
Richardson is on an all-time low right now. You know, that fight with Duarte would have been a great situation for him to show his talent against a tough guy like Duarte and to see how he matches up with the rest of the guys in the division, mainly Gary Russell. They've been having that back and forth situation, but some reason or another he didn't come through. So he did a lot of talking, and he didn't he kind of let everybody down. So I don't think Zuffa has nothing to offer him.
Claremore, Mill City, does Berlanga need an opportunity to develop? And seems like he kind of stopped evolving. Can the activity and exposure on Zuffa help?
No, I think we seen what Belong can do. He's not gonna be. He's a decent fighter, and I think that's all he'll ever be. He's not gonna be great. He's not gonna be a world champion, but he's gonna be a good gatekeeper. I think we've seen all his talent to the max. I don't think he can get any better.
You don't think he can get any better?
No,
Mm. Yeah, I feel like if this wasn't if he wasn't gonna get a high level fight, I feel like if Zuffa didn't grab him, I feel like he might have went to pro box. Because remember, he had that stay busy fight on pro box before the Shiraz fight. I don't know if you remember. He fought that guy Mantequilla on the Emma Williams card in Florida and Orlando.
I think Berlanga. You know, I mean, come on now.
He
He
still
was.
talks about the hand wraps with Shiraz as well to this day.
I don't know. Anyway, he got blew out, and I think he reached his ceiling. And I think anything less is a step down. If you go to Pro Box or Zuffa, that's a step down for real. Coming from the zone and everything like that, top rank, you know, those that type of platform. I think that's a step down for him. And again, you know, he can stay busy and make money because he got a decent name, you know, and he ain't too bad of a fighter. But I think we've seen the best of Edgar Berlanga. He's not knocking nobody out. He's not knocking nobody down, and which was his reputation and which he was sold on. Not his boxing ability. It was his power, and he's not showing that. So,
Damn, the
I think,
best of Berlanga, Bernie?
yes, sir.
That's tough. That is tough. Why you say that, Bernie?
I,
Because his development process was a lot of people were complaining about the 19 straight knockouts didn't help him. Then jumping in there with a Canelo Alvarez didn't help him much either. But then it kind of capitalized, catapulted his stardom somewhat.
It did, and then like I say, when he got in there with a guy like Shiraz, he got blew out.
Then that shit just yeah.
So that just showed you. I mean, it's either one way or another. We you know what I'm saying, we took it to the highest of highs, which we knew that was a stretch. But I would have liked to have seen him against a Munguia type fighter. Why they never fought? You know what I'm saying? That'd have been a better fight for him before he fought Canelo, because I think Munguia had fought Canelo. So I would have think Munguia lasted the distance with Canelo. So I think that'd have been a good fight for him for her keep developing him, fighting Munguia. But you know, um, shit, they threw him the money, and he had to take that. And Canelo, being the type of fighter he is, takes them all on. Fought him is a big money, and it was probably really easy money. So, like I say, you deserve a showcase fights. Those was a couple showcase fights for him. Canelo has earned his right and status. Everything he's did, and once he took those showcase fights, he stepped up to the plate and fought an all-time great like Crawford, and so he met his obligation, and he goes on the comeback trail. But Edgar Berlanga, like I'm saying, I think he's ran his course. I think he can probably have some good wins against some, maybe B level and C level guys, maybe, you know. But it's all about situation as far as his talent developing. I don't see him uh, expanding anymore.
But you see how Zufa will grab some of those guys, like you say, that maybe have a higher name than what they possess as a competition, like a
To
Conor
grow their
Benn,
brand,
perhaps.
to grow their brand, to bring those people to them. I mean, it's just like when you're moving a fighter, you get those faded champions, because their name. You know what I'm saying? So it's no different, And that's the good thing about having a name in anything. When you have a name, you can use that name till it's no longer, you know what I mean? You have that name. So and that's good for having a name. You can always find a way to check somewhere. And you see that in every avenue of sports and entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. Sports and entertainment. I love it. Man, Bernie, this was definitely a great segment, man. Like always. Anything that you wanted to touch on that we wasn't able to touch up on?
No, just make sure my title was cool. You know what I mean? I spoke about a couple of different topics, and just you don't if somebody listens to my, because I feel like a lot of times people don't uh they don't even listen to the show. They just go right from your title and they start commenting. I thought they did that with the Brian Norman Sr. situation. I think none of those comments, they didn't listen to his conversation, because I thought you was kind of wrong with that, because you kind of made it seem like you were saying that it wasn't Ortiz's fault, that he was kind of saying it was Boots' fault, when he never said that. When he said he was really Ortiz now, and Boots did everything that he could to make the fight, and he waited long enough. But the way you titled it up, you made it seem like you were saying that he was saying that it was Boots' fault. And of course, he's had not the best favorable things with them. So it was like clickbait, and they was talking crazy in the comments. But again, these guys are not watching the situation. They're going off of, the title. So, I don't think you did that well. I think Mill City, I think I think that you don't need to do that. I think you've built such a situation to where you having different guests on. You probably had the most guests that I know, from a variety of different guys, probably more than any other platform for real. The other ones that's like Fight Hype and all these type of guys, for you being just a guy that, you know, reaching out through them through YouTube. You have grown so much. You know what I mean? So you don't have to do that. I feel like if you're a boxing fan or enthusiast or love to hear what fighters or managers or trainers have to say, I feel like, you know, it's just like that. You have different guests on to where it doesn't need no controversy. You know what I'm saying? I think you have in the boxing world, which is a small game, everybody knows everybody. It's a small world, you have enough named guests on to a person that wants to just, if they like that person or they want to hear something that these people have to say. It's just that, you know, whether it's me, whoever, you know, if you don't like to, it's just what kind of conversation. If you want to hear the conversation, you bring a lot of people to the table. So it's just like, you know, I want to listen to this person, you know, and you know, so I don't think you have to do clickbait for that. I think you build up enough, you know, and you have a steady guest. You know, you had me on a lot. Of course, you had Brian Norman Senior on a lot. You had a lot of different guys that you constantly go to, you know. So you don't have to have a controversial title. And I realized that again too, you know, even with me, and a lot of guys, you know, they they go for the title. They don't actually listen to my words or listen to what I had to say. You know, they go on with the title. So, but
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't even listen to it. Sometimes
no,
you're
I
right.
know. I think 9 times out of 10, especially when the last one, when I was talking, they don't, you know, they don't. And I feel like a lot of times, like, you know, they saying I did a 380, a 180 or something with Devin when nah, y'all only want to hear the negative things that I had to say about Devin. And because I'm not partial to his style and I'm not a fan of Devin Haney's style of boxing, that you take everything that you didn't hear any of the good things that I said. But since I haven't really had nothing somewhat too so much more negative or one side to say about Devin, you know, it seems like I did a 180. But I've always give positive and negatives about pretty much every fighter that I talk about or whatever situation. So again, a lot of people they just want to they just hear the comment. You know, they're not here to re-listen for substance. They're like women. They you know kind of well, I don't know what the word to say, but they're not looking for any substance. They're not looking to hear quality commentary or opinions about things. You know, they're here just to write negative things because they can hide behind the comments. But
Nah,
wait a minute, you know what we didn't talk about
but
is what's up with the Ray Ford and Shockey Foster going up.
yeah. Hopefully they make that fight, man.
Great
Hopefully
fight.
they make that fight.
Great fight. I can't wait to see it. I want to. That's a good fight. Of course, I'm favoring Ray Savage because that's my guy. I love Ray Savage, and I really like Shockey Foster too. Though I think Shockey Foster a good fighter, but I just like Ray Savage. You know, Ray Savage. I really like Ray Savage, man. I had a chance to work with him in the gym, and actually, like I say, I came became more of a fan of him when he was in the gym, and I'm like, you a world rated contender, but you don't have nobody with you. You know, you kind of like by yourself, and so that's why I ended up kind of work with him a little bit. He came over and worked with us at the UFC, and I've been trying to get him to come work with us, but I think Trey doing a good job. Trey Diesel is doing a good job. Teray is doing a good job down there, and I think he's real comfortable down there. So he's been reluctant to come out of his comfort zone. But anyway, I really had a feeling for Ray Savage, and when he won that fight against for the featherweight title, the way he did it showed a lot about him, and that made me a real big fan of Ray Savage. So I'm sticking with Ray Savage. I love Ray Savage. I love his style. I love all the stuff that he do, and I think he got a lot of charisma too. Even though he's kind of soft spoken, I think he's a real dog. He's a fighter, and he's a talented fighter. I think he's good to watch. I love, like I say, I love his style, and I'm favoring overall Shockey Foster. And I'd like to see him in a big fight like that, which is a good fighter in a Shockey Foster and a good champion.
So, do you like Ray in that fight?
I like Ray. I'm picking Ray. Of course, I just said that, New York City. Picking
But
Ray Savage.
is it a close fight? They're
It's
very
definitely a
he's
close
very
fight.
confident.
It's both a close. It's definitely a close fight because Shockey Foster can box. Ray
Yeah.
Ford can box. It's gonna be. That's why it's a great fight. That's the fight. If they want to, anybody want to elevate, this is the fights they need to have. You know what I mean? And the winner fights never it. Don't go nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? If Shockey Foster and whoever went out of Ray Ford and Shockey Foster, the winner fights never it.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna put Foster and Navarrete next, to be honest.
I
But
don't think
now,
never it really want to have nothing to do with Foster though.
yeah, I can
Just
see
like
what you're saying.
Burchell didn't want to have nothing to do with Jamil. Cause see, Jamil was trying to get Burchell, but they wouldn't give him to him. So they fed him to Shakur because he was trying to get Burchell. before Burchell got knocked out by Valdez, he was trying to get Burchell when Burchell was the boogeyman, or so to speak. He was really high in the division. But Burchell didn't remember they even brung him in the ring. But Burchell didn't want to have nothing to do with Mel. So, they fed him to Shakur. So I'm thinking the same way with Navarrete. I'm thinking they don't want to have nothing to do with Shockey Foster.
That's something. That is something. Mills, what does Bernie think about unifications at 126?
Like I'm saying, I would love to see the kid fight. I would like to see Angela Leo and Shushu Carrington.
Okay,
Like
what
fight. I would like to see that fight.
Shushu Espinosa? What you think about that fight?
Espinoza don't want to have nothing to do with Shushu.
No?
So probably gonna be, Shushu made it public. He even called him out, man, in public, and you heard nothing from Espinoza, which is shocking to me because I favor Espinoza. But I think they're gonna put Espinoza with Angelo Leo. They both on Top Rank. I think they probably match those two together. But Shushu and Nick Ball is a good fight. But I would like to see him and Angelo Leo. I think I'm not really a big fan of Nick Ball. I really don't like watching Nick Ball fight. Oh, matter of fact, he got knocked out. I'm tripping. It's Brandon Figueroa now. Nick Ball's out of the question. So shout out to Brandon Figueroa for coming back and had those two losses to Stephen Fulton. And he really lost those fights too. Had a terrible fight against Joet Gonzalez, where had everybody thinking Joet really won the fight. I think Joet probably won that fight. But he, obviously the B side, and it's okay to give him a loss than Figueroa, So Figueroa made the best of his situation, knocked out Nick Ball, which he needed that, and pumped some new life in his career. So I would like to see I would like to see those two fights too, though. That's a good fight. Shushu and Figueroa. So I wouldn't mind Shushu against any of them guys. Angelo Leo or Figueroa. I'd rather see him against those two guys. Any of them. Because I like all of them. I like Espinoza too. So anyway, how they mix it up. I just don't like Nick Ball for real. I hated Nick Ball style.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was a crazy knockout that Brandon Figueroa did.
Yeah.
That shit was nice. But Bernie, man, I'm getting a little tired, man. Let everybody know where
Cool,
they can
man.
find you though on social media as well.
Man, catch me at YouTube at Bernie THA Boxer. Bernie THA Boxer, Bernie the Boxer. Catch me on Instagram at Bernie THA Boxer. Keep following us. Keep watching B&B. See my baby girl. She just won the national championship for the second time within a 2-week span. Jasmine. She became won the USA championships just out in Colorado Springs. She won the national silver gloves like 2 weeks before that. So I'm excited about her. Congratulations to her. We got Carlito Gariba going up. If you watch my Instagram or follow them, or Bud posting, making this having a second fight. Alan Panduro, all B&B stable mates. Of course, we got Charles Lolo Harris. We got of course Lester Martinez just won the interim championship, puts himself in line with the winner in Billy and Canelo and any other top 168 pounders. We working with Richard Torres, Olympic silver medalist, going up. I'm believing on the undercard of Devin Haney and Rolly Romero against Frank Sanchez in an IBF eliminator. And we got Jamar Talley going up on Zuffa. I don't even think it's Zuffa now. I think he's going to move on the undercard of Fury and the other kid. I mean, not Fury, excuse me. The champion Usyk over in Egypt. I think he's going to go
The
for that.
kickboxer?
Said what now?
Usyk, I think what Usyk's fighting the kickboxer.
Yeah, in Egypt. So I think Jamar Talley, No Mercy Talley from Camden, is going to go up, and he's going to do that and fight on that undercard. And shout out to Ventura, Kevin Ventura. He won a quiet decision on last night
Last
in
night,
a
yeah.
comeback fight. Hadn't been in the ring for a little while. Sneak since suspense undercard. Come off a tough loss in that situation. A really good fighter who kind of lost his way in life a little bit. Was signed to Golden Boy and had a lot of potential. A lot of guys were, like I say, was signed with Golden Boy. A lot of guys was expecting a lot out of him. Had a lot of potential and kind of lost his way in life, but he was able to come back last night and shake off some ring rust and had a slow start, but I think he picked it up and he deserved to win. And so shout out to him. And just keep watching this BNB. All the whole coaches. We got a stable, the best team in boxing. Red Spikes, Saul Dieguez, of course, Bo Mac, and yours truly, Bernie the Boxer. So follow any of those guys on Instagram. I just named Bo Mac on Instagram. Esau Dieguez on Instagram, Red Spikes on Instagram. Of course, yours truly, Bernie the Boxer, man. So just stay with us, and everybody that supports us, thank you, appreciate you. And that's it, man.
My God, stay blessed, Bernie. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Neil.
You already know, man. Stay
Sure.
blessed, guys. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. We've been on this. We've been on this for like 3 hours now, right? So salute to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys. And we'll be back with another one tomorrow morning. We're going to continue talking this boxing, all right? Peace. Blessings.